Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everyone, and welcome
Hello,
to
hello,
the
everybody, and
first
welcome back
stream in
to
very
another.
long
You want to do the?
time. And
Uh,
Edward, you interrupted me.
yeah,
You,
sorry.
it was like the mirror effect, where YouTube starts copying you.
Well,
You just started with,
I thought you were gonna do the whole, welcome set, the good morning, good evening, and all that thing. Because see, the thing is, you kind of stole. I thought we were swapping for a moment. Because normally I'm the dude who does the, good day, good day, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and then you'll take over and be like, well, and welcome back to another episode of blah blah blah. But you kind of stole my bit, and so I was like, oh crap, what do I do now? My part of the intro doesn't exist. Has been taken from me, and I was like, I guess I'll just do your bit.
but then I continued. So,
But yeah, well, yeah, because yeah,
well, it
intro.
is. It is our first stream on the second half of the year, so I think it's time I open up my own streams for once.
That is true. It is the first stream on the latter half of 2021, and what a quick year it's been. Good lord,
Oh, yeah.
like it's already halfway over, and God, I said the exact same thing about 2020. Years fly, don't they?
Mm.
But I have a
Hello
nice feeling.
quick
Oh,
hello to Crimson J21 and BZ Railways. Welcome to the stream.
I have a nice feeling that 2022 will be a nice, slow, thick year, which is what I am hoping for.
I think all of us are kind of hoping for a bit of a slower year without any predicaments.
Yes, because as the as the Hoover rolls out, and more people are squashing the bug, or actually no, as the Hoover rolls out and more people are cleaning up the dust, and recovering from the economic issues and all of that stuff. People are getting jobs back again and all of that, which is nice.
I'd like to say hello to James Bond the Diesel. Because I downloaded him earlier this morning and he's finished downloading, and I just had a look now while Edward was talking. We have James Bond the Diesel now. James Bond, the BR class 26. Can we make this an official OC? It's 26.
What is his number is the question.
007, that's what I said, James Bond.
Oh God, it actually is 007. It is James Bond the Diesel. He is
James Bond, the BR class 26. And yes, I will be probably reskinning this into a Norland Rail livery just for fun. Maybe.
I just yawned. Sorry if my microphone picked that up.
Just barely. But yes, hello to everyone. And we will get started after we do a few more things. I also downloaded an S100, so I'm going to be making that into AU Rosie when I get the chance.
It will probably be an earlier night for me tonight because, I'm wiping my eyes and just yawned already. And this stream just started and we'll be going on for a little while. But yeah, I've had quite a bit of a long day. Like, nothing really bad happened, but I just felt tired. I've had 2 cups of coffee and am still tired. And, yeah, and, like, it was just one of those days where I was really unfortunate, and I woke up at 3 a.m. And
so the day went on forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, exactly. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I woke up because I slept on my couch again this just last night last night, and then I just looked at my phone, or I looked outside and saw that the sun wasn't up, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's just 5, or maybe it's 5:30 or 6, because I usually wake up at 6:30. Then I checked my phone and saw that it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, Oh God, today's gonna be excruciating. Because it was one of those things where, like, I'm like one of the people, like, everybody tells me just go back to sleep, and I'm like, I'm one of those people where after I wake up, I'm up.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm the same.
I'm up for the rest of the day, and there is no going back to sleep.
It was
So,
only because, like, when I was talking to you before about when I woke up at 7:30, that was only because I was excruciatingly tired that I ended up going back to sleep. But most, like 99% of the time when I wake up, I'm awake, and that's that.
exactly. I'm most definitely one of those people. So I was like, oh God, today's gonna be a pain.
Oh no.
Oh no. God oversimplifies the best. Oversimplified.
I'm just looking at this Freightliner BR Class 90, and I'm thinking I might download it and then paint it up in an NHR NR livery for it to run on Norland, run in Norland. But it's also this Class 37, but it's like a 2004 model. We're going to get started with the actual route building in a minute, but I want to show off a few more AU reskins that people might not have seen. Now, I was going to do a separate reskin stream, but it'll end up just being me reskinning stuff again or driving reskins around. I just want to show them off before we get to work. But if I show them off, I will show them off on the Railway Series iOS. Should I show them on the Railway Series iOS? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that instead of the Norland one. There we go. So how is everyone? We forgot to ask that at the start. How is everyone?
Yeah. Sorry, chat. Yeah, sorry, chat. I just totally neglected you guys and went on about my morning. How was y'all's day?
No, you see, I was going to ask how everyone was, but then you kind of slowly started to repeat what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm stealing the show this morning. Well, afternoon. I don't care.
Just wherever you are, how is your day / how is your morning? How is your
night?
Yeah.
How is the general existence within the how has your general existence within a 24-hour time frame been?
Crimson J21 says, I'm good, working on a timeline of events for my Railway Series AU. Nice. I will show off some of my AU engines soon. And BZ Railway says, it feels like ages since the last stream. Well, it has been ages. I've been working on SSOC non-stop, and so has Edward since the last stream. We've been writing.
I stayed up for like 2 days straight. It was great.
Yeah, Edward risked his life and stayed up 48 hours to finish the series. That shows you how dedicated.
Don't exaggerate it that much. You only potentially die after like 7 days.
No, but the script had pincers and it was attacking Edward, but he carried on writing. And
I got a paper cut. Oh.
He was raining and sat outside on the bench while I was snuggled up nice in my office with a cup of tea and a blanket.
It was raining. I was raining. What?
No, I said it was raining and you were outside.
Yeah, I was tackling the script. I got a paper cut. Honor me like a war hero, please.
And we, between the pair of us, but it was mostly Edward's work because I was filming. But between the pair of us, we did get Series 7 fully finished, and that's because of like all of the delays.
There's another episode that I'm kind of rewriting because reasons.
Don't say the title. Don't say the title of it on stream.
Oh, but that would be a spoiler. But yeah, there was another script. It's not entirely finished, but when it is finished, then I can officially say that
Yeah, we're just having to rewrite.
They're done.
One of the episodes because it was a bit messy. Anyway, if you would all like to have a look at my screen.
What was that sound?
All right, so here is one I've been wanting to show off for a while. I have shown off some photos of this, but for those who haven't seen it, this is my AU Edward. There you go. And Edward here doesn't really like AU engines, but he likes this one. So
I
I'm
do.
proud of being that. We also have a red version I'm working on for the Furness Railway. It's not finished yet, obviously. I still need to do the wheels and everything, and the lettering and everything. But it's a work in progress. I'm going to get to it once I've done some more SSOC stuff and obviously stream building today. Oh, bless me.
Bless you. You're good.
Yeah. This is Gordon. You've seen him all before.
Curly K. He's gorgeous.
This is Faceless Gordon. I still need to do his nameplates up so it says Sir Gordon Gatesworth on the side. But this will be Gordon eventually. And I hope to have an entirely faceless fleet at soon in the future. So that'll be good. This is also another one I'm working on. The reason why it's brightly coloured is because it's A1 Gordon in the early NWR livery, but I've decided I want to change that, so I still have to redo all that, but we'll have that eventually. We also have a Henry in Brunswick that I'm working on. And I need to find a suitable Black 5 model to continue that. Then we have James, and I finished James a few days ago. So his tender actually looks decent. So I'm very proud of James. I haven't found a suitable DLS faceless version, so I might end up just respinning like the 06 Railway Series 1 like Edward suggested. This is Percy.
Yes,
And
he may be a purse, but contrary to popular belief, women do not carry him around. Actually, now that I think about it, women probably want the last thing to do with Percy.
And then we have Millie, my AU for Millie. I still have to. I have done the bogey. I still have to replace them though. So that's Millie.
Millie.
And then we have the Reed H class, which I still have to do all the numbers and letters for. But
the
as
numbers
a whole,
and letters and numbers for. Brilliant.
As a whole, they are done though. Like as a model, collective model.
Yes, I would like to say that I love these so much.
Not the only one. I love them so much, and Cameron does as well. In fact, Cameron wanted me to send them him, and I was like, nope.
It's a private model, he said.
Yeah, I'm not gonna send these to Cameron. If you do happen to be watching this,
Cameron watching the streams, ha.
Yeah, I know. But Cameron, if you do somehow inexplicably happen to be watching this, the only way you're going to get your hands on my H classes is if you finish that the naming and numbering for my Gordon, because I can't curve text in GIMP, in my version of GIMP for some reason. So I am unable to make all the names work. This actually failed. I tried to make this with red lining, and it ended up messing up the splashes, so I have to completely redo this model now. But we do have the SODOT and Mainland Railway Green, which if I pop on over to here, does have, once I get the tender for it, does have actual name and number scripting. So number 4 is Kirk Ronan. And if I pop onto here and go 0500, number 5 is called Ballyhoo. And 0600, and I did all this myself, I'm very proud of it. And number 6 is Norham Bay. So I was so happy when that worked. We also have an ROD Sodor version. which is still a work in progress actually, because I want to change the numbers on the side instead, so that it isn't the same livery scripting. But we'll get there.
I actually hold up, 3, 2, 1. So I was thinking about the last stream, and I wanted to correct a error that I made or it may have been the last stream, it may have been a few streams ago. I honestly don't remember. It has been a hot minute since we've done a stream, so I don't really remember entirely. But in one of the streams where I was speaking about the Soviet Union and the Third German Reich's military, during the Eastern Campaign in World War II, I think I was flip-flopping back and forth between calling the main medium Soviet tank, the T-34. I think I was mainly calling it the T-38. I think I was calling it. Oh no, now I can't remember which one's the actual one now. Oh no, I've forgotten again. But
go and search it up.
Oh,
Crimson J.
I'll
Crimson
check in
J
a moment,
21
but
says, "Who
regardless-
made that model? It looks really good." However, that message was sent a good 6 minutes ago, so I can't remember which one I was showing off. Was it the first? Was it the first one I was showing off, or I don't know, because I can't remember. However, this is the other engine I wanted to show off quickly today. This is not James, contrary to popular belief, as Dax says. Dax says it's hideous. It's a mix between Edward and James. I said, no, it isn't. And I said, it's an entirely different engine. It's a Drummond C8. This is the number 5 of the Tidmouth Knapford and Elsbridge Light Railway.
Okay, thank you. It was I kept calling the tanks in the previous stream T-38s, is what I kept calling them. I deeply apologize, because I think we literally had a discussion in that video about doing things unscripted and just having live streams where we talk about history. See, I'll get minor facts. I will end up getting minor facts like that wrong. And yes, I kept referring to the Soviet tanks as T-38s, and I think I may or may not have flipped back and forth between their correct name and the incorrect name. But to correct myself, I meant the T-34s. As far as I'm aware, T-38s were not real tanks. Like, they didn't exist. So I apologize for that error. It was my fault. I was stupid. They were T-34s, not T-38s. So just wanted to correct myself because, didn't want to look like an idiot and not acknowledge it.
Crimson J says all of them. Well, okay. The Edward one at the start. This one. No, that's the COG version. The one with the face. The faceless version. That's from the DLS. Gordon COG Railway. Faceless DLS. Henry DLS. James. Not Henry. Henry COG, James COG, Millie DLS, Percival / Percy, COG, H-Class DLS, Home C-Class. That was DLS as well. 2 different versions. Well, I say 2 different versions. The 4 different versions of Tommy. Old COG Railway. And then the Drummond C8 that was also DLS. Then I also have this, which I'm hoping the faceless version will come out soon. And I didn't make this. I didn't make a reskin of it or anything. This is an actual model you can get. It's a new B12 model for Alfred. If only you could reskin it, because I hate this NWR blue. So yeah, that's that. That's that as far as that goes. I am planning on reskinning a 9F very soon to be Murdoch. Be Faceless Murdoch. So if this is allowed to be reskinned, Faceless Murdoch will be coming very soon. We also have this Block 5 I downloaded that I should definitely delete because it's rubbish. So that is very nice Tinder. I did download something else I just want to check out before we move on, just to make sure it did actually work. There it is. There's our James Bond with the diesel.
I just thought of something quite humorous just in my brain while you were speaking. I was just thinking, and I was like, how can I explain the Soviet Union Great Purge, like, in a nutshell? Like, how can you break that down to be like the most simplified form possible? And then so I think I've just done it, and it's kind of funny. So basically, all of the Russian people are starving, they can't get any food, and they're really, really, really angry at the government. So then a bunch of and the government is the reason why that they're starving and they can't get any food. So then the government is like, okay, this sucks. And then so basically another government or the leaders of the government are like, don't worry, we'll try to fix things. And then so they start murdering even more of the government. And so congratulations, we've entered a new age of fixing things, kind of, where literally nobody is happy. The people aren't happy because they still aren't getting any goddamn food. And the government isn't happy because they are literally being murdered. And the people again aren't happy because well, they're not getting food and they are still hungry. And the people who are saying that, and the people who gave them, who are not allowing them to have food, are getting murdered and replaced by more people that will not allow them to have food and are even worse than the last people who did not like them and wanted them to not have food. It was great. It was a great time to be alive, honestly.
We should start right back at the beginning. So I think last stream we did have Crosby. We definitely had Crosby last stream. So this is Crosby. If you haven't seen it, there's about 5 streams probably containing the build of this. But originally this route went up right to the end of this track here, where this long splice down the middle is of the baseboard, along where that is down here. Basically where these signals are all piled up. And I got brave and I ventured out into the unknown for the first time, and built all of this. And it's not finished yet, but we do have James's crash site. That's a thing now. I'm going to add some invisible tracks in the 1920s version. Coming into Wellsworth, I built Wellsworth Canal Port. We've got the Sudrian flag blowing about in the wind.
God save Sodor.
Then we have the Sodor road freight lorries, cranes, canal boats, a whole bunch of rocks, which I haven't finished piling up. I hope to have these rocks go all the way along the coast like that and kind of build up a bit of a rocky form like what I built here. That you sometimes see at like the edge of like coastline. But it takes a very long time to put down all these rocks and kind of position them in the way I like. So I took a break from that. Because if we move on further down here, you might recognize this from some of my photos I've taken. And then we do have this bit of a holiday home kind of thing by the railway. And then we move on into Wellsworth. And we have Wellsworth Yard. And it's quite nice. Not too proud of my own work or anything, but I am.
Not to toot my own horn or anything, but toot toot.
Yeah. Then we got some more housing over here, which still have to get some work done to it. Still have to do some of the yard. Then we have this other bridge at the end, which looks a lot better than my SSOC version of the Wellsworth Yard double bridge, where I just used the stock standard model. I actually combined FMA, this, and the brick wall. Then we have the station. This is quite clever, actually, how I did this here, because you go over the rails, but then come all the way down and go under the road that went under you before. And then you go along here. And this is Wellsworth Station. And got all the name and everything. Got the canopies. It just genuinely looks very nice. Wellsworth and the thing. Then we have the thing. And before you go off saying Ellsbridge should only have 2 tracks here and like a pull-in track here or whatever, or there. This is modelled on the Ellsbridge as it appeared later on in the books, and when there were 2 tracks over here when the station was rebuilt, because the previous Wellsworth on the site had a track. I think it was the one, yeah, because this is the way out. So this one used to have a track that pulled over like this, and then it went across this bridge before curving here and going round. But the remodeled one, because of increased traffic on the NWR, they wanted to lead the main line through, so they opened up this area instead with a running round route. I have all this. Then we have this over here, which is this is going to be a bit of a commercial area once I get to work on that. But this is it's similar to the one at Knapford. This is the Sodor Roadways depot for Wellsworth, aptly named the Wellsworth Bus Depot. We've also got the taxis parked over here. But this is what I'm proud of. This is a reskin that I did of a model that is allowed to be reskinned into Sodor Roadways. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to do make it with different advertisements as well, advertising different things like Railway Series books, like you often see buses carrying in the Railway Series books. Like I'm going to get an advertisement for the troublesome engines. I'm going to put that on there. And that's about it, really. Not much to show off, just that. But I am proud of what I've got so far. And this is the map now. And in case you're wondering what that red line is, that's for the Farquhar branch. I'm restricting myself from building the rest of that until I finish the main line, because I got a bit carried away. So I'm going to finish the main line first before working on the branches. So there we go. That's all I had to say. So you may continue now, I thought.
You must understand, comrade, that if we complain about the food rations, we would be sent to Gulag.
Your Crosby still looks really good. Thank you.
Oh, that was golden. You may continue now. And I say that, and then the chat. Then you just read the chat. That was perfection. So casual.
What were you expecting me to do? Ignore the chat?
No. I just thought it was funny. How it's just so casual. It's just funny. I feel bad about this stream Because like normally, like when there's a stream, like I was saying before, like how I kind of wasn't ready for this stream, like at all. Like normally I'll have a general idea of something to talk about before I go on stream,
Yeah.
that I'll bring up at some point, whether it be something a little bit more moral, like
Like a backup, essentially.
yeah, exactly. For if either the stream gets kind of dying or the initial conversation just stops being interesting or something along those lines. And like for example, one time it was the literal meaning of life and telling people to stay off the internet and not let it consume them. Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
There was that one. There was Edward's lecture on gun control. A history of, a small history of weapons in war. Reading between the lines of, like great historical battles and trying to inspire people to learn about equipment and stuff like that. Something interesting, And today
Because the
I've got
main focus of the stream is definitely not interesting.
Huh?
Because the main focus of the stream is definitely not interesting.
Well, no, I think it's very interesting.
No, I'm joking. Calm down.
Oh, okay.
No, because when I'm root building, I don't really talk. I only talk about what I'm building most of the time. So you need to actually. That's kind of like your role for most of it. You kind of keep the conversation flowing, and I just focus on the visual entertainment part of the stream.
I provide people's brain food.
That's probably why I don't do so well when there's nobody there to co-present, because people find me boring.
I don't find you boring.
I know you don't, but there are definitely people who have watched the streams before who have begged me to get a co-presenter for that stream, even though there are no co-presenters around. Like if Cameron's away and you're away and Jax just won't reply.
I mean, well, Dax is Dax. It's just...
And so,
Yeah.
Some people even said, "Where's the reskin man?" And we want to like talk to him. And I'm like, "Oh, so I'm not good enough."
I have to be honest with you. So remember a few weeks ago when you did that stream all on your own?
Yes.
There was no co-presenter person. So just because like me and my mother were like incredibly bored, we were in like the waiting room for something. And so we actually started watching that stream because I hadn't seen it yet. And obviously, I wasn't there, so I don't know how it goes. We were watching, and then I was just skipping around, just, watching the route progression and like listening to you like talk, between like these long sessions or stuff. And then we had been watching most of it, and then we'd gotten to about halfway through the stream, and my mother straight up asked, "So when does he start doing stuff?" Like, and I was like, "Mother, dearest mother, we're halfway through the stream." She was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I know. I'm not the best. I'm not the best at presenting and co-presenting my own show.
But yeah, today, speaking of, me doing my job, let's go back to me discussing how today I failed. Because I have got absolutely nothing. I was unprepared. And I have like I don't really have anything. I always have to like carefully select it and like, what exactly to say. Because I know I sound very like unpredictable or like unpredicted and like uncalculated, but that's just because like, I don't want it to seem incredible. I don't want it to seem scripted. Obviously, it's not scripted, but I try to have a decent idea of what I'm going to say and how much I'm going to say about it,
Mm.
And so like, there's always this, like, the reason why I'm not really trying to pick something is because
Yeah.
there's, like, another thing about it, like, for example, like, Edward's gun control, Edward's, history on military weapons are all very kind, especially Edward's gun control and stuff is kind of touchy subject. So I always have to think, okay, how much about this can I say and how deep can I go into this topic without getting canceled? You know?
Mm.
Like, what can I say here?
There we go. There are these bit of indents where the ground just kind of dips into the road before going back up again, and so I filled them up with like kind of like a ditch with bushes and muddy water. So
Ooh, I like that. That looks very like swampy.
yeah, it's like a drainage thing almost for like getting water off the roads and the bank. Just a little bit of detail that you won't even see when you're passing by. Because look at this. When you're in engine up on here, the least of your concerns is going to be, oh, what's the detail under the bridge? So I'm not putting in too much work into it, but I'm still going to have it there because I think it's nice to have a bit of detail, regardless if anyone's going to care about it or not. I am happy with this 3D grass though, it's lovely. It's a shame it takes so long to put down. Right. What should I do next? Should put some houses down. Because this isn't going to be a payware. Well, it's not even going to be a payware thing or freeware. It's going to be a private thing. Because it's not like I'm not going to be releasing it. I'm not going to do custom roads because texturing and splining custom roads is a pain. So I'm reserving that only for Norland to kind of keep myself alive with that. All right, what to talk about now?
Non-cancelable things, right? Happy fun times, children. Oh wait, no, that'll get you canceled. Speaking derogatorily towards the audience, that'll get you canceled. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Oh wait, no, saying that'll get you canceled nowadays. Oh wait, crap! I just said, oh wait, that'll get you canceled nowadays. That'll get you canceled nowadays. God, man. And, like, I saw this one thing, like, people are now getting canceled because they think cancel culture itself is stupid. And it's like, at this point, why does it exist? It just exists to, like, well, one, censor people, which is, I think everybody's already known, but, like, it just exists to, like, end people's careers. Like, at this point, I feel like it just exists to make people have a bad day.
Which is just, it shows you how bad the online world, well, and society in general, yeah. It's just how bad it's gotten.
It's like, welcome to society. This is a time where we can punish people for stuff that they've said 8 years ago. And even now, it's like, I don't care, like, who somebody is. And I don't mean that in the sense of, like, you can agree with, whatever. As in, like, I don't care even if you're some sort of extremist. Like everybody's like, we accept all people, like, on Twitter. But then you see somebody Now, this is going to sound bad, and I get it, but it's true. You can't say that you accept all people from every belief, no matter what, and then call out a Nazi. Like, I get Nazis, neo Nazis need to be called out because they're not good, but at the same time, you can't preach that you accept all people and all
And
people.
then don't do that.
Exactly, and then attack people for what they believe when they express it. Now, what you need to say is, we accept all people that we agree with, that the general majority agrees with. But then that's not all inclusive and progressive, is it? And I think it's very interesting. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I support Nazis. I'm not saying that I agree with them, because I don't.
Because you'll end up like that.
What I'm saying is that saying that you accept all people with you accept all people regardless of beliefs, no matter what, and then attacking a Nazi is being a hypocrite.
Mm.
Which is, and now
It just shows you like the state of society now.
I mean, I don't accept all people like that I agree with, like, or in the sense that when I say like I accept all people, I accept people who aren't rude, if that makes sense. Like, I accept people who aren't jerks. Like, I'd be friends. Oh God, okay, this is about to get bad, but I don't care if you're a Nazi, honestly. But if you're nice to me and we have a lot in common, then I'm not going to hate you, as long as you don't act on those impulses. Now, you can be a Nazi and you can advocate for like anti-Semitism, but until you don't actually start breaking the law by like shooting Jewish people, I don't care.
Okay, I think you're gonna have to tone it down a little bit.
Okay, I'll chill. But until like you can be that, as long as you're not breaking the law. You know what I mean? Like, when you start breaking the law is when I have an issue. But until then, like, I'm not gonna discriminate because of beliefs, regardless of how extreme, as long as you're not breaking the law. You know?
Mm.
Because it's just not right. The way I see it. Now, that's not, like I said, that's not to say that I'm like above Twitter, because there is some, like, to an extent where I will, not be friends with somebody because of, what they believe.
We got a true fact moment from BZ Railways.
Oh, what did he say?
It's on the screen right now.
True fact: people that claims that all men are equal are slave owners. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting time.
I mean, to be fair, there was a condemnation of slavery that was written into the Constitution, but it was cut out for I get what you mean in that sense, but like, there was a condemnation of slavery written into the Constitution, but it was removed for not because of racism, but it was like because they didn't, want the black people to be free. It was removed because they were fearing Southern state support. And then you could say, well, that's no excuse. But it kind of is an excuse when it threatens to tear the fabric of your newly formed nation apart. Like, you can't guarantee freedoms for all men if you're in your nation, if there isn't a nation to guarantee anything. You know? It was different times. The union was young.
I mean, we're not obviously, like, you're not obviously saying that you support slavery, but it's
No,
like,
of course not. Of course not.
it's just like from their point of view. That's the thing that I hate about how like schools teach history. It's always very one-sided.
Yes, and they always teach like things are obvious. Like, slavery was bad and everybody should have known that. But like, no, things are complicated, you know?
Mm.
And
Edward and I
also,
were having a discussion because in as part of the Australian history curriculum, it is just looking at Australia, Australia, Australia. That's all it says. There's Australia in the interwar years, Australia in this conflict, Australia in World War II, Australia in World War One. Why can't we? And then in year eight, which was a while ago now, in year eight, we actually looked at like different countries. We looked at England during the Black Death. We looked at the Vikings and their invasions of other countries. We looked at feudal Japan during the shogunate and all that. But then from year 9 onwards, it's just Australia, 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 all the way until year 12. And we're not allowed to learn. We're not allowed to learn anything pre 1750 because Australia wasn't a big enough thing.
Australia wasn't a thing until 1901 or something.
Well, no, like not. Well, I mean, like the colonies as well, but like just before 1750, you're not allowed to learn about any of that history because it doesn't matter in the Australian eye.
Bruh.
Which is stupid because if it wasn't for pre 1750, post 1750 wouldn't exist.
I'll be honest. When I start to care about history, and of course there's way more. Like for example, like I say from the latter half of the 1600s upwards is what I care about. That's not to say that the first half isn't meaningful because without it, it wouldn't have created the second half.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm saying when history gets to the point where I start to really care about it is like in the middle of in the 1600s.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying that I hate any of the past history or the current. Well, not future history, but you know,
future history.
Shush. The past history, or like the distant past history, or the more recent past history. Like, basically, Australia considers anything in recent history to be from 1750 onward because that's the thing that matters. I'm not saying that that's bad or anything, because there are quite a lot of things that came out of post 1750 that were really, really good. But you still have to look at pre 1750. Yeah, to be able to understand why things happened the way they did post 1750.
Exactly. And getting back to like the thing that I was saying before, I really hate it when people are like judging things based on like modern things. It's like, oh my god, how did they not know that? But it's like they really didn't know. So let's turn it away from a touchy subject like slavery or stuff like that. Let's change it to something else and we'll use it as a metaphor. And then I'll come back to it and then you'll see what I'm trying to say. It's like everybody going, oh my god, how did the Europeans not know that there was a whole 2 other freaking continents separating Europe from Asia? They were so stupid, man. How did they not know that? It's so obvious. You can look at a globe and see it right there. But it's like, no, that globe was created because they went over there. It was a completely unknown.
It was unknown territory.
Exactly. Nobody knew.
Nobody knew exactly what to expect.
Exactly. I mean, heck, actually, no, everybody did know what to expect. They expected Asia, and then they were wrong.
Well, fair enough, but like they didn't know exactly what to expect. Like dead on.
They theorized.
Yeah.
And then they thought for sure that they were right, and then they were wrong. They were so sure that they thought Cuba was Japan, and Florida was India or something.
But that's the thing, like that shows you like the making of the modern world, like how we know it as today.
Exactly. Then we look back, and I'm not saying like they didn't know slavery was like bad, because like I said, a condemnation of it was made in the Constitution, but it was removed. Not because they didn't think slavery was an issue that needed to be tackled, but because if they didn't, their main, like I said, not be a nation to tackle the issue, because if they lost, like, the Constitution was like, is like made out to be in school as like this big unmovable God thing that like they like like it's almost made out to be like God handed it to them like God himself just chucked it to them, and was like, have this. But it really wasn't. It was drafted as guidelines for the nation, but you have to understand all of the states had a say in making it. Not really in like drafting it, but they kind of had a say as in
like what the general idea would be.
Exactly. And if they didn't follow that general idea, America as the federal government was not strong enough to suppress the states. And when
I think Edward might have cut out because he's just disappeared. I think his internet's cut out because he just disappeared from the stream. So in the meantime, you can see I was completely unprepared for this. What is everyone? This is a question I have now. What is everyone most looking forward to seeing me build on the Railway Series iOS? And then we'll go from there. Yeah. BZ Railway says,
I'm back.
I'm looking forward. BZ Railway says, I'm looking forward to see the rest of the Farquhar branch. And Riley, hello, welcome. Says anything past Kildane. That's what I'm excited for. Is that because of how the SI3D iOS, the TV series one, didn't really go past Kildane/Kelstor? Because I have got a basic idea for what I'm going to do. Don't know exactly, but I definitely want to do Vickerstown. Because not definitely like as in definitely want to do as in I don't have to, but I'm definitely looking forward to building Vickerstown on that side of the island because in the Railway series, when we see it portrayed as how TV series Knapford ended up being. So I'm hoping that a decent Vickerstown building will come out, and if not, I'll just reskin some things to look like Vickerstown. But in the Railway series, especially in like the 20s, the 20s era of the railway series, we saw when Thomas was station pilot there, it looked a whole bunch like how Knapford looks like now. And by extension of that, I'm going to try my best to try and replicate that. And definitely not going to make it up on a high level, though, because that's just silly. But I'm going to make it look more like how Knapford is portrayed in the TV series, but with my own touches here and there, because we don't really see Vickerstown that often. So I'll be doing that. And then Kildane, I definitely want to put in the electric wires. That's definitely an important thing. But I am going to do my own take on Kildane Station based upon the illustrations, because all of the Kildanes I've seen so far don't really follow that.
It would be fun.
Hmm?
You know what I could do actually for the streams?
Go on.
Especially for this one where I literally have no plan, but I may do this for other ones as well in the future. I think I'm gonna read the Railway series.
We were kind of having a discussion on what I was going to be building for this iOS.
Sorry, I was just thinking on my own of what I should do now.
Yeah. Well, you can do that. You can do that after I finish discussing.
Yeah,
because I finally have something to talk about.
Yes. Sorry. Shut up. Okay.
So what I was saying was, I do intend on building Kildane slightly different to how other people have portrayed it. They've portrayed it, myself included, for the SSOC one, as this more of a modern metro interchange looking station, and I don't really like that idea anymore. So I'm going to go with a bit of an older station, just kind of like how you see in the Railway series, where it looks a bit like the building that I've used for Wellsworth, but smaller. And I'm going to build it like that, and then we don't really see Kelstorp Road that often. I think we saw like a two-track slightly curved station, and then that was it. So I'm going to definitely include my own take on that, based upon a user who I was talking to on Discord called, I'm just loading up Discord now to read out the name accurately. Let's see. Jake Fireblast on Discord did a really good Kelstorp, and I asked if I could take some inspiration for that. And he said yes. So definitely going to make my Kelstorp inspired upon the amazing works of that user, and go from there in the future with Kelstorp. Obviously, I'm going to add in a lot of my own things as well. Because I had a general idea, but I wasn't really sure what layout I was going to go with for the station. So the solution that he came up with is very, very, very ingenious. And I like to think of that, like how like Kelstorp can be portrayed as like being another one of the bigger town/small cities on the island, so it's got a bigger station to compensate for that. Kirk Ronan and Rolf's Castle is something I'm really looking forward to do, because we don't see that in the Railway series. And you know, obviously I'm going to essentially do what I did for the SSOC one, but a lot better, and make Kirk Ronan Station a lot smaller instead of basing it loosely off the TV series one, because I'm not really satisfied with how that is, because in the Railway series it is only supposed to be a small town anyway, so only doing it small will help. Probably like a 2-platform or 1-platform station with a run-around loop. Same goes for Rolf's Castle. I've been inspired by Wild Nor'Wester's route for that, but he in turn based it off another route, I believe. I think it was this one. He based it off another one. It's either that one or the Ballyhoo line that he based off something that he's seen before. So obviously I'm not going to completely copy what he did. I'm going to go with my own original one, just taking loose inspiration from Railway Series routes done before me to kind of create like this general matched up world. So that's all I have to say. So Edward, you can continue with what you have to say.
Okay.
John, hang on. Johnny says along with Train 4755's Railway Series, Sodor route it only goes to Kildare. Oh yeah, I know what you mean now. Crimson J says I had fun building my Kildane. I feel famous now. Are you Jake Fireblast from Discord? Because if you are, then I'm sorry, I didn't know. I would have pointed you out. I would have pointed you out in the chat. It's because you got a different username. Didn't notice. Okay. All right, Edward, you may continue. I will continue adding some housing to Wellsworth.
Yeah, housing's pretty cool. I also live in a house, so I find that relatable. And I know that sounds like an obvious statement, but I mean, if you look at it, a significant minority of the world population actually live in houses. Most of them either live on the streets or in like huts. So.
Or log cabins in the middle of an American forest.
Why is it got to be an American forest where log cabins are, huh?
No, because every time I've seen a log cabin, it's always in an American forest.
Really? I thought of
or German. It's either in an American forest or a German forest. That's the only times I've ever seen log cabins, especially in the media.
I thought those were. I always thought of them as like a Canadian thing. I hear Sweden also have them.
Oh yeah, probably. Probably do really when I think about it like that. Yeah. All right.
Anyways, as I was saying, there's this dude called Wilbur Audrey. He wrote some books a long time ago, and now he's dead. So.
Books that I may or may not be building this route.
They weren't very popular. They didn't really do much in the grand scheme of things. No. But so yeah, I'm gonna read them. As I was saying before, I'll just read the Railway Series. Why not?
Wasn't that how we finished off the last stream?
Yeah, but now I'm gonna do it again, but like from the start this time.
And on your own as well.
Yeah. Narrator voice.
You okay?
The Railway Series, number 1. The 3 Railway Engines by the Reverend W. Audrey. Illustrated by Clarence Reginald Dalby.
I really don't know how to do this.
Edward's Day Out. Once upon a time, there was a little engine called Edward. He lived in a shed with 5 other engines. They were all bigger than Edward and boasted about it.
The driver won't
choose you again.
Can I do this, please?
You want to be the big engines?
I just want to be the big engine there when he goes, the driver won't choose you again, they said.
Okay. Edward's Day Out. Once upon a time, there was a little engine called Edward. He lived in a shed with 5 other engines. They were all bigger than Edward and boasted about it.
The driver won't choose you again.
they said.
He wants big, strong engines like us.
Edward had not been out for a long time. He began to feel sad. Just then, the driver and fireman came along to start work. The driver looked at Edward. "Why are you sad?" he asked. "Would you like to come out today?"
That's so much better than the, what's the matter? Are you feeling sad? And Edward's like, well, look at my face, Sherlock.
"Yes, please," said Edward. So the fireman lit his fire and made a nice lot of steam. Then the driver pulled the lever. No, do not. Can we just have one time where we reference this scene on stream and don't do that? It's happened like 5 times. Then the driver pulled the lever and Edward puffed away. "Beep, beep," he whistled. "Look at me now."
Look at me. Shh, look at me. Look at me. Shh, look at me. Look at me.
I hope all of those Destiny hits were caught by the microphone because my hand really hurts now.
Yes, they were.
God, I hope they were as comedic as I thought they were sounding in my head.
Oh, God.
The others were very cool.
You just have to admit, though, that early Railway series narration.
It was so bad. It's so bad it's good. It's gold.
So much better than
Look at
so
me.
much better than Thomas narrating his own episodes. I was happily puffing down the American State Railroad of Arizona.
I would honestly take Thomas as the narrator over that shit.
No, I'd actually take. Well, I'm sorry, but I'd take Johnny Morris's. It's more comedic than
That
Thomas
is
just.
true.
Than
That
Thomas
is
just.
true.
I
At least
was
you would
being a
actually-
really useful engine in Italy because I don't care about soda anymore.
Yeah, Gordon, Henry, Percy, Edward, and Gordon all dead. I made sure of that. Away went Edward to get some coaches. I should really probably try to make this like a real read through without pausing every 2 seconds to make a bad joke. Said the coaches.
Edward, what was that? All I heard was like, said the coaches.
Be careful, Edward.
No, I didn't hear that at all. All I heard was said the coaches.
Said the coaches. Be careful, Edward. Said the coaches. Don't bump and bang us like the other Indians do. So Edward came up to the coaches very, very gently.
You just hear a massive explosion. The Fat Controller just looked out his window to see a massive explosion.
That was kind. I'm glad you are taking us today. I love my coach voice. It's my stereotypical house voice. Be careful, Edward.
Don't bump and bang us like the other engines do.
Then they went to the station where the people were waiting. Beep, beep, whistled Edward. Get in quickly, please. So the people got in quickly, and Edward waited happily for the guard to blow his whistle and wave his green flag. He waited and waited. There was no whistle, no green flag. Peep, 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 peep. Where is that guard?
I like the Reverend W. Audrey's narration for Edward, because all you hear is, "Where is that guard?" And it just sounds like somebody else said it. It's so funny.
Edward was getting anxious. The driver and fireman asked the station master, "Have you seen the guard? That I don't know why. When I was little, I always just said it like that. Like I would say it normally, and then I would have them say, "Have you seen the guard?" in a weird way, and they'd say it like that every time. The driver and fireman asked the station master, "Have you seen the guard?" "No," he
No.
said. They asked the porter, "Have you seen the guard?" "Yes,
No.
last night," said the
Oh
porter.
yeah.
Edward began to get cross.
I
"Are
mean,
we ever going to start?" he said. Just then, little boy shouted, "Here he comes!
here he comes.
Don't stop echoing me!"
Well, I want to have a part.
You sounded like the coaches just then.
Here he comes.
The coaches say it. "Here he comes!"
I mean, they probably could, really, you know.
No. They're cutting out the humans from the show. It was enough already. Don't take the part of the child. And there the guard was, running down the hill with his flags in one hand and a sandwich in the other.
I saw an adaptation, and it showed like the guard running down the hill with like a McDonald's, and you could see the fat controller in the background shaking his face.
Okay, that's funny. He ran onto the platform, blew his whistle, and crap! I thought it said leapt into his van, but it says jumped. He ran onto the platform, blew his whistle, and jumped into his van. Edward puffed off. He did have a happy day. All the children ran to wave as he went past, and he met old friends at all the stations. He worked so hard that the driver promised to take him out again next day. "I'm going out again tomorrow," he told the other engines that night in the shed. "What do you think of that?"
This is a disgrace. This is an outrage. We're going on strike.
"That doesn't happen for another 4 books, you retards."
No, but like he says, but he didn't hear what they thought because they would have been speaking.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
That's why I said that. I said, you know, it's like, this is a disgrace. This is an outrage. We're going on strike. But he didn't hear what they thought because he didn't.
Oh yeah.
In the end.
He didn't hear what they thought. But he was so tired and happy that he fell asleep at once.
I
haven't finished the book yet.
No, it's funny because for you, like, because you've got the Free Railway Engines itself. That's the first story. For me, this is about the 100th story in my book because I'm on page 120.
What? Why is the 3 Railway Engines at book 120 or at page
Because
120?
the Australian copy of the book is stupid and organises the stories by character, and so Edward's Day Out is about the fifth collection in the book.
Oh,
like,
I'm on Edward and Gordon, and it's page 18.
I know it's page 121 for me, but it says here in contents, like the contents, it goes Thomas the Tank Engine, and then you've got all of the Thomas stories. Percy, then you've got all Percy stories.
Why are they at least in numerical order of engine?
I know, then it says like Toby the Tram Engine, and then you've got all of Toby's stories, which is funny because page 108 is Mavis. And then you've got Edward the Blue Engine on page 117 to 139. And then you've got
stupid.
Gordon, Henry, and James.
Edward and Gordon.
You don't even
One
get
of the engines in Edward's shed was called Gordon. He was very big and very proud.
"You'll watch me this afternoon, little Edward,"
he boasted,
"as I rush through with the express. That will be a splendid sight for you."
Just then, his driver pulled the lever.
"Goodbye, little Edward," said Gordon as he... Oh, you're the narrator.
Said Gordon as he puffed away.
"Look out for me this afternoon."
God damn it. Stop it, please. Edward went off too to do some shunting and bunting and punting. Edward liked shunting. It was fun playing with trucks. He would come up quietly and give them a pull. Oh! Screamed the trucks. Whatever is happening? Then he would stop, and the silly trucks would go bump into each other. Oh!
ow,
Oh!
ow, ow, ow,
They
ow, ow,
cried
ow.
again. Edward pushed them. I like to make it sound like the trucks are genuinely in pain.
Ah! Ah!
Yeah, hence why my trucks sound the way they do.
The trucks were in pain. Ah! There'll be more coming should you miss that.
Cried the trucks.
Oh.
Edward pushed them till they were running nicely. Then they weren't expecting it. When they went, fucking hell. Edward pushed them until they were running nicely. Then, when they weren't expecting it, he would stop. One of them was sure to run onto another line. Edward played till there were no more trucks. Then he stopped.
Yeah,
to
you'd
rest.
think by this point Edward's 50 years old already, and he's playing around in the yard with trucks.
Hey, just because people are old doesn't mean they can't mess around.
I mean, that's still young for an engine, 50 years old, that's only a child.
Yeah, Thomas is 100 and 100 and something or other, and he still acts like a toddler.
Yeah. Wait until you see the Skarloey engine, Skarloey in Series 10. I'm scared of the rain! I'm scared.
Skarloey, you're literally 150 years old.
I'm scared at the brink of the end of our line. It's been this before I was here.
You sniffed there. I know it was just because your nose is a little stuffy, but it sounded like Skarloey was sniffling.
Well, no, I did that intentionally as well.
Oh man, I just thought it was good timing.
Well, no, it also was good timing because I do have a bit of a cold, but
Sniffle. Skarloey. Then he stopped to rest. Presently, he heard a whistle. Gordon came popping along very slowly and very crossly. Instead of nice shining coaches, he was pulling a lot of very dirty coal trucks.
A goods train, a goods train, a goods train.
He grumbled.
The shame of it. Oh, the shame of it.
He went slowly through with his trucks chattering and banging behind him. Edward laughed and went to find some more trucks.
I love the first time we see Gordon, the illustration of him. It's just, he looks so mighty compared to Edward. It's just
very Gordon-like.
Yeah.
Well, technically, no. The first illustration we see of him is in the first story.
Shush, but the first one where we actually know who he is.
Yeah.
Because to us in that first story, to us he's literally just another engine in the shed.
That's true. Soon afterwards, a porter came and spoke to his driver. Go and cut me up hill. Will you take Edward pushing, please? God, that was just too sounding like his teeth didn't exist. Go and cut me up hill. Will you take Edward pushing, please?
It's just sounding too much like his teeth did not exist. Crimson J says, I hate placing down every single house. Rarely the patience. Yeah, it's a pain, but I'm going to have to create all original gardens for these as well to keep them,
They found Gordon halfway up the hill, very cross. His driver and fireman were talking to him severely. You're not trying, they told him.
I can't do it,
said Gordon.
The noisy trucks hold an engine back, or if they were coaches now, clean, sensible things that come quietly, that would be different.
Edward's driver came up. We've come to push. Oh, wait. What was his voice in the first one? Oh, yeah. We've come to push, he said.
No use at all,
said Gordon. You wait and see, said Edward's driver. They brought the train back to the bottom of the hill, and Edward came up behind the brake van ready to push. Beep, beep. I'm ready, said Edward.
No good.
grumbled Gordon. The guard blew his whistle and they pulled and pushed as hard as they could. I feel like a television show announcer.
Said the narrator.
Here we have Bobby Cole coming up on Jimbo Jenkins on turn 4. He is really revving his engines. Who will take home the World Cup?
Oh dear. That aged well.
Look at that. Left turn. Here we come again. It's another left turn. Would you look at that? It's another left turn.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Puffed Gordon. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. Puffed Edward.
I can't do it.
I will do it.
Can't do it.
I will do it.
Can't do it.
I will do it. They puffed together. Edward pushed and puffed and puffed and pushed as hard as ever he could. And almost before he realized it, Gordon found himself at the top of the hill.
I've done it. I've done it. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm the best engine on this railway. I've done it.
He said proudly, and forgot all about Edward pushing behind. He didn't even wait to say thank you, but ran on so fast that he passed 2 stations before his driver could make him stop. Edward had pushed so hard that when he got to the top, he was out of breath. Gordon ran on so fast that Edward was left behind.
In a cloud of A1 dust.
In a cloud of grisly excrement. The guard waved and waved, but Edward couldn't catch up. He ran on to the next station, and there the driver and fireman were very pleased with him. The fireman gave him a nice, long drink of water, and the driver said, "I'll get out my paint tomorrow and give you a beautiful new coat of blue with red stripes. Then you'll be the smartest engine in the shed." The sad story of Henry. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't resist it. The sad story of Henry. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. It went into a tunnel.
Came off with a fright and a hand, put him back on again.
Oh, come on.
Oh no, hang on. The sad story of Henry isn't after the Edward and Gordon story. Hang on. Let me consult the contents. The sad story of Henry is a whole 70 pages after this one. 172, where are you?
Bruh, for me it was literally just a page turn.
Sure. There we go. Henry the Green Engine. Okay, I'm on it now.
And even in my big book it's just a page turn.
Because it's in like order for you, but the Australians don't know how to count and decided to do it in character order instead.
I mean, well, they are upside down. I guess that means when they're born, their brains are... Oh my god. So you know how babies are upside down in the womb? Right?
Yes, we're listening.
So babies are upside down in the womb, meaning that in Australia, babies are right side up. Meaning that maybe that's why you keep saying Australians are stupid. Maybe that's why they're so stupid. They start off on the wrong right side up, and then they get dropped upside down. In the rest of the world, they start off upside down, and then they get brought back to normal. you guys get, well, not you because you didn't start there, but all of the Australian people who were born in Australia started there and got dropped upside down.
Concussion be like.
Concussion due to contact with the air.
Due to contact with gravity. Now, I watched this video that some Australians in the Outback made about like fun facts about Australia, and said, here down under, we like to start every day with a nice pot of marmalade for breakfast. Not marmalade. What's it called? Not marmalade. The Vegemite. That's it.
Yeah, I was about to say Vegemite.
With a nice pot of Vegemite, and it says, and then we eat that. We spread that on our toast and really nice, like, and then says, and then we go and catch them, and then we go and ride our kangaroos to school. And then
to school.
And then after that, he said, and then for lunchtime we eat whatever we didn't eat for breakfast, usually marmalade. Marmalade. I'm used to saying marmalade. Vegemite on toast, which usually is cold by now. So we usually get the kangaroo to warm it up for us.
How?
I have no idea. Such stupid Australian logic. What do you expect?
You just pop it in the pouch like a microwave for 15 seconds?
Probably. And then he said, oh, where was I going with this? I was trying to tell you something that you reminded me of. I'm going to have to show you the video after because I can't remember what I was going to actually, the point I was actually going to get to.
Anyways.
I don't know where that was going. I was trying to tell you something from the video, but I can't remember what I've said. That shows you how little I cared about the video. It was only the key points I cared about.
Fair enough. The sad story of Henry. Once an
hang on, before you continue, they also did a video. They did a video on explaining on how we keep cool in 1,000-degree weather in Australia. And they said, I'm bloody hot, mate. And the other one was like, yeah, we should come up with some ideas to keep cool. That'll get us some views up on our channel.
He just looks to the other guy and he's melted into a pool of just nothing. The only thing left is like that stereotypical Australian hat that he was wearing.
And he said, hey, I've got an idea. And the other guy was like, okay, sure, show me. And he said, it's called fridge phase. You open the fridge door and you put your face in it.
Whoa.
And it just shows you how stupid like their ideas were. But then the other one was like, hey, I've got another one. It's the advanced version of face fridge. And this was later on in the video. And he said, oh, what's it called? It's called freezer face. You open up the freezer and you put your head in it.
I mean, fair enough. That is one way to keep cool.
I mean, it does work, but just the logic of it. And then the other one was like, this one's called cup timer. And he says, well, what does that do? And he said, well, you get the timer and you set it for 5 minutes and you do whatever you want on your phone. Then when the timer goes off, you grab a cup of water and throw it over you. And then you go back to work again for 5 minutes.
Whoa. Revolutionary tactics here.
And just like the video though, it's just, I'll have to show you this after. Continue and I'll show you the video after.
The sad story of Henry. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. It went into a tunnel, squeezed through its funnel, and shut up. We all know what happened in the 50s. Just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
The sad story of Henry. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. It went into a tunnel, squeaked through its funnel, and never came out again. The engine's name was Gordon. The engine's name was Henry.
The engine's name was Gordon. You just hear Gordon say, I won't leave. I won't leave.
The driver and fireman argued with him, but he would not move. The rain will spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes, he said. The god blew his whistle till he had no more breath, and waved his flags till his arms ached. But
Why would
Henry-
you blow? Why would the guard blow his whistle in Gordon's face? Gordon's not going to move. Not Gordon. Henry's not going to move.
And also, if he did, he'd be stranded near the at the tunnel.
He's just like
And also
the guard blew his whistle furiously. That's not going to do anything. If he doesn't want to move, he's not going to move for a whistle.
Also, in the scene where Henry is or where he's blowing the whistle and waving the flags, like in the illustration, Henry's driver is also right there. So what would happen if Henry just said, "Fuck you guys, bye," and then just left the driver and the guard?
Just puffed off, leaving them there.
Exactly. It's like, all right, you want me to move? I'll move. Bye.
And then they're like, "Wait, Henry, we need to keep you coupled up to the we need to couple you up to the coaches." And he's like, "So long, suckers."
Exactly. But Henry still stayed in the tunnel and blew steam at him. "I'm not going to spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes for you," he hissed rudely. "You suck," said Henry.
Insults with Henry the Green Engine.
Insults. Your facial complexion is undesirable." The passengers came out and argued too, but Henry would not move. A fat director who was on the train told the guard to get a room. "We will pull you out," he said. But Henry only blew steam at him and made him wet. They hooked the rope on and all pulled, except the fat director. "Doctor
has forbidden me,"
he said. They pulled and pulled and pulled, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. Then they tried pushing from the other end. The fat director said, 1, 2, 3, push. But he did not help. "My doctor, yes, my doctor, yes, my doctor has forbidden me to push."
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if, like, in an alternate history, the fat director's doctor was on the train and he said, "I never said any of this," and he quickly grabbed the doctor and pushed him into a bush?
Or in an alternate universe where the fat controller actually is like, "My doctor told me that I need to get better at my health and help people by pushing," and then they push Henry out of the tunnel. Imagine if the fat controller was like the one person who was also needed. He could just throw his fat weight at the train and he would.
"My doctor has forbidden me to push because he doesn't want me to help the customers."
My doctor has forbidden me to push because the plot demands it.
Because the plot demands Henry stays in the tunnel for at least another book.
Yeah, for another story, yeah. They tried pushing from the other end, but he didn't help me. They pushed and pushed and pushed. But still, Henry stayed in the tunnel. At last, another train came. The guard waved his red flag and stopped it. The two engine drivers, the two firemen, and the two guards smoked a bong together. There we are. Went and argued with Henry. "No, stop writing," they said.
"Well, I could see that, Jeffrey," said the fat controller.
Yes,
who was taking down his umbrella and shook it all over Henry.
"And what would become of my green paint with red stripes then?" So they brought the other engine up, and it pushed and puffed and puffed and pushed as hard as ever it could, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel.
Yeah, how funny does it have? Like, it's funny because the animation team at Art thought that in this illustration that was James, but James didn't exist yet. Doesn't that annoy you though that they use James in his
Yeah, it really bothers me. I would have loved to see a CGI Winston.
Because I think they were thinking of you know, in the TV series, like the early TV series, how they messed up and kept James red. I think they were thinking that Audrey did the same mistake. And so they were like, well, this is clearly James, and then made it so it was James in his not BR Black, in his LMS black livery.
You know what I would love to see? Like, instead of the stupid Marklin engine that everybody loves so much for some reason, like making the O's, like an OZ of the Marklin engine, that is really stupid, by the way. I hate it when people do that. It's like, it's
why? It's why, though?
Yeah, it doesn't need to exist. It was a thing that existed on the set that, within the canon of the show, was not even supposed to exist.
It's just there to like later break up the set dressing and as like a thing to make, you know, so they didn't have to move the expensive models around doing work. They just had something to keep rolling stock moving in the background.
Exactly. Where like everybody's making like, you know, that of it. What I would love to see, like in place of the Marklin engine, is like the red engine, you know? Maybe they could actually have his body be seen in the background of a few scenes, you know?
Yeah, even if it's a shame they didn't have like an extra James model or even a James chassis, that like an extra one that they could paint up to be red.
So they gave it up. They told Henry, "We shall leave you there always and always and
They told Henry that he was useless," said the Fat Controller.
They told Henry, "You know what? We're taking those lorries and we're going to McDonald's. Screw you."
And the Fat Controller and the crew jumped into Elizabeth, drove off, and left the passengers behind.
Oh, God. So the passengers manually dismantled Henry and began to eat his bits. Henry asked them what they were doing. They were going to eat metal, and they said, "We haven't eaten in 5 days, Green Engine. We are desperate, and you look like a green bean, so we'll take what we can get." They took up the old rails and built a wall in front of him and cut a new tunnel. Now Henry can't get out, and he watches trains rushing through the new tunnel. He is very sad because
That's the thing that I hate about the TV series adaptations, because they only brick up the front of the tunnel.
And not the back?
Yeah, in the TV series, they only brick up the front of the tunnel, meaning that when Gordon breaks down, Henry's just able to leave the tunnel without them having to like put in any work to replace the rails. He's just like, haha, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. And then just backs out of the tunnel like he could have done that all along.
I mean, to be fair, they would have just put him back, though.
I mean,
but which begs the question of what was the point in the wall in the first place? You could just tell him that he can't leave. I guess it was just for like...
That's another thing as well. They had to dig out a new tunnel and to keep Henry in there. When you think about it, because the illustrations are inaccurate to that, because there was only one tunnel originally, one track. And so they would have had to dig out and spend money during like the 1920s, the Great Depression. They had to...
No, not the Great Depression. For God's sake, no, Ben. We've spoken about this. The Great Depression began in 1929.
Okay, well, close to the Great Depression, but like just after wartime still this is. And
it's still called the Roaring 20s for a reason.
Yeah, because...
Because the economy was totally sick.
But the thing is, the NWR was going through like a crisis of itself. That's what I mean, like the Great Depression of Sodor, essentially, because they didn't have enough money to afford brand new locomotives. So why did they not like put Henry on a siding? They left him.
Killed him and used him for parts.
They left him in a tunnel. They left him in a tunnel and had to dig out a new tunnel for the other engines to go through.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. Just
if there's any reason why the NWR is in debt around this time and like needs all those like spare engines from other railways, it's because the Fat Controller decided, you know what?
Spend all their money fucking with Henry.
Yeah, we'll build a new tunnel then. Just to teach Henry anything. It taught the Fat Controller a lesson not to spend...
Not to brick engines in walls.
Yeah, not to brick engines in tunnels and actually, put them on a siding or something and then take away the rails from that.
So they get, now Henry can't get out. Yes. He is very sad because no one will ever see his lovely green paint.
Hello, Martins. Welcome to the stream.
His red stripes again. But I think he deserved it. Don't you? I mean, I agree, but like they didn't have to go to such extreme measures.
Yeah, they didn't have to go and build an entire new tunnel just to keep Henry in there.
Edward, Gordon, and Henry. Edward and Gordon often went through the tunnel where Henry was shut up. Edward would say, beep, beep, hello. And Gordon would
hello,
say,
sucker.
Boop.
How does it feel not to be doing any work?
And Gordon would say, boop, boop, boop. Serves you right.
Well, I'm Gordon.
Oh, sorry. And Gordon would say, boop, boop, boop.
Serves you right. Serves you right. I'm sorry, I have to do the Johnny Morris one for this era.
Poor Henry had no steam to answer. His fire had gone out. Soot and dirt from the tunnel roof had spoiled his lovely green paint and red stripes. He was cold and unhappy, and wanted to come out and pull trains too. Gordon always pulled the express. He was very proud of being the only engine strong enough to do so. Except Winston and Henry and Edward at one point. And James.
And James and all of the express engines we saw in the first book.
Shut up. Gordon, let Gordon have his moment.
Let Gordon have his moment of pride.
There were many Kirby coaches full of important people, like the fat director who had punished Henry. Gordon was seeing how fast he could go. Gordon was seeing how fast he could go.
Oh, hang on. I'm trying to find Edward, Gordon, and Henry because that's on a different page. It's on a different whole section of the book again. Stupid Australians in the content. Okay. What are we looking for? Edward, Gordon, and Henry.
Yes.
Edward, Gordon, and Henry 175. No, that's Henry and the Elephant. Okay, there we go. All right, where are we up to? Hurry, get out of my way.
He panted. Trickety-trock, 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 said the coaches. Gordon could see Henry's tunnel in front.
In a minute,
he thought.
I'll poop on Henry.
God damn it, I was hoping you weren't going to make that joke.
I'll poop at Henry and rush through and out into the open again.
Closer and closer he came. He was almost there when crack. Whee! He was in a cloud of steam and going slower and slower. you like my Steam sounds there?
Yeah. You perfectly captured Gordon's shooting star boiler smashing to pieces.
When you need that for SSOC Shooting Star Gordon, that's not a spoiler, by the way. It doesn't. That doesn't actually happen. But when you need that for SSOC Shooting Star Gordon, you can use that. Don't worry, I swear, Shooting Star Gordon is never coming to SSOC. Don't worry.
I can change that.
I mean, that's true, but like, please don't. Like, seriously, the world will literally end before I let Shooting Star Gordon exist.
Okay.
His driver stopped the train.
What has happened to me?
He asked Gordon.
I feel so weak.
You burst your safety valve, said the driver. You can't pull this train anymore,
Oh dear.
said Gordon.
We were going so nicely too. Look at Henry laughing at me.
Ha 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 ha.
No,
Gordon
smudge
made
laugh. Smudge laugh.
Gordon made a face at Henry and blew smoke at him. Everybody got out and see Gordon. Fuck.
Set the control.
Everybody. God damn it.
I mean,
Everybody got out and came to see
wouldn't that
Gordon.
be the fat wouldn't that be the fat controller's excuse though? Like, wouldn't that not excuse? Wouldn't that be what he would say really when you think about it? Like, two of his massive engines have broken down when he was on their train in front of hundreds of passengers when he's there to get blamed for it.
Fuck.
Said the fat controller.
Said the fat director. Said the fat director. I never liked these engines always go wrong. Send for another one. Send for another engine at once.
Edward.
Well, the guard went to find one. They uncoupled Gordon and ran him onto a siding out of the way. The only engine left in the shed was Edward. I'll come in and try, he said. Gordon saw him coming.
Gordon saw him coming. Where's it? That's no use,
He said.
Edward can't pull SHIT.
Edward can't pull shit. Fuck you, Gordon.
Said Edward, I'm gonna do this my way.
Eat shit. I could pull this train 30 years ago, and I can do it now. Edward puffed and pulled and pulled and puffed, but he could not move the heavy coaches. God damn it,
Told you so.
said Gordon rudely.
Why not let Henry try?
Yes, said the fat director. I will.
Edward.
Yeah, I'm flipping the page.
Oh. It's all on the one page for me, this story.
Well, I've got teeny book.
Yeah, fair enough. I've got about 3 illustrations per page in this book.
I've got 1 illustration per page.
Well, I know you do, because you got.
Well, actually, I don't even have 1 per page. I have 1 illustration every other page. Will you help pull this train, Henry? he asked. Yes, said Henry at once. So Gordon's driving fireman lit his fire, some plate layers broke down the wall and put back the rails, and when he had steam up, Henry puffed out. He was dirty, his boiler was black, and he was covered with cobwebs. Oh, I'm so stiff! Oh, I'm so stiff! He groaned. You'd better have a run to ease your joints and find a turntable, said the Fat Controller kindly.
The thing is, the closest turntable is at Wellsworth. And wait, actually no, this is the railway zoo, so Ballyhoo. So so the closest one would be at Vickerstown. Yeah. So actually he doesn't have that far to go. He's only got about 5 miles or so.
Henry came back feeling better, and they put him in front. Beep, beep, said Edward. I'm ready. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, God, why did they progressively go up in tone? Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep.
Thomas the Tank Engine and the Engine Orchestra.
Thomas the Tank Engine and Orchestra.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Thomas the Tank Engine, the composer and band.
Beep, 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 said Henry. So, what? So am I. Pull hard, pull hard, pull hard, puffed Edward. We'll do it, we'll do it, we'll do it, puffed Henry. Pull hard, we'll do it, pull hard, we'll do it. Pull hard, we'll do it. They puffed together. The heavy coaches jerked and began to move. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. We've done it together, we've done it together, we've done it together, said Edward and Henry. You've done it, hooray! You've done it, hooray! You've done it, hooray! Sang the coaches. Henry and Edward lived the thug life and did lots of drugs. Okay.
Edward.
All the passengers were excited. The fat conductor leaned out of the window to wave to Edward and Henry, but the train was going so fast that his hat blew off into a field where a goat ate it for his tea.
Nom nom, said the goat. Fat cat. Fat cat.
Nom nom, I'm freaking shish kebab. You got problem in it. You got problem, fat man. Come face me in the fields then, and we'll see who's really the goat. Yeah, that's right. Nobody dares face shish kebab the goat. Yeah, that's right. They never stopped till they came to the big station at the end of the line. The passengers all got out and said, "Thank you." And the
Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Henry. Thank
Hang
you.
on, I will be back in a second.
All right. The passengers all got out and said, "Thank you." And the Fat Controller promised Henry a new coat of paint. Would you like blue and red? Yes, please, said Henry. Then I'll be like Edward. And Gordon, but nobody really likes him. 'Cause he smells bad. Edward and Henry went home quietly, and on their way, they helped Gordon back to the shed. All 3 engines are now great friends. Wasn't Henry pleased when he had his brand new coat? He is very proud of it, as all good engines are. But he doesn't mind the rain now, because he knows that the best way to keep his paint nice is not to run into tunnels, but to ask his driver to rub him down when the day's work is over. The 3 Railway Engines by the Reverend W. Awdry, with illustrations by Clarence Reginald Dalby. So yeah, the Railway series. That was the Railway series. That was the entire Railway series, by the way. Just kidding, but that was this book one of the Railway series, as you probably all know. Let's check the chat. Oh my. Oh, okay. Oh my. Oh wow. So much stuff has happened. Mark our branch. Yeah, how long it is? Randomly goes to kill Dan. Actual famous now. No, it's okay. My account is very different. I hate places that is how has it been? I don't know. I collapsed. There was no first tunnel was gullible. It could be too fast. That wasn't no one to get. What does SSOC stand for? Yeah, BZ Railways already covered it. Oh, then some Davy Martins had been really wanting to get my attention. What is it, Davy Martins? How may I assist you today? What's up, my friend? How can I help you? Riley, what's up? Oh, James J50 James. Okay, no. What's wrong, Riley? What's up? You have put up a face of mild discomfort. Okay, that is not telling me what I need to know. That is just another face of mild discomfort. Yes, Crimson J2221 also appears to be confused. May I have a little bit more than a mild face, or than a face of mild discomfort? So much spam. Ah, yes, spam. Yeah, it's a little frustrating. Davy Martins, can you chill, please? But yes, I how may I help you? Because apparently he really wanted my attention. So now you have it. Words have come out and they don't mean anything. I feel like that's just me right now because I'm kind of tired and my words just don't exist anymore. The stream has gone by unbelievably slowly. It feels like we just started streaming like 2 minutes ago. And the stream is nearly already over. Intermission, gentlemen. We'll be right back. I'm back now with nothing interesting to say or add to the discussion. We have crossed the 2-hour mark threshold.
Hello, I have a brownie and a bunch, well, not a bunch of it. I have a brownie and a mug of tea. I have a cuppa ready for the stream.
What's left of it, you mean? We're already at 2 hours. It does not feel like it. How long do you plan on streaming for, by the way? Because, dinner.
I'm just going to keep on going until I decide I'm going to go out for a bike ride.
Fair enough. Oh, save Queen.
So, in the meantime, did you finish the Edward Gordon and Henry?
Oh, yeah, I read the end of it.
You know, what about alternate history? The Fat Controller says, would you like blue and red? And Henry says, yes, please. He said, then I'll be like Edward. What if, oh, why did trains go off? What if the Fat Controller painted Henry red with blue stripes?
Ew.
Because Henry says, then I'll be like Edward. And the thing is, he didn't say, then I'll be like Edward and Gordon. So what if the Fat Controller
killed Gordon?
No, what if the Fat Controller spoke to Gordon spoke with the Fat Controller and said, sir, he didn't mention me. Can you paint him opposite of Edward and I? So we can tell Gordon and so he can tell myself and him apart. And he's like, that's an excellent idea. An alternative livery for engines would be nice. And then paints Henry red with blue stripes, but nobody tells him. And his whole life he thinks he's been painted blue with red stripes.
Until one day he finally sees his face in a reflection.
In a mirror or like a puddle, yeah.
Oh. Hello. I'm in.
Hello.
Hello, man. Hey, Edward.
Welcome.
I have entered. I'm actually hearing this like, oh, wow. So, basically, for a short time, Henry gets repainted into the style of 80s James.
Yeah.
Definitely an interesting point there. Although I like how, if you read the original book, Edward's driver decides to paint Edward with blue and yellow stripes, which would definitely be an interest, which I feel like has the blue and red thing kind of clash with it. Because I think maybe it's interesting. Why is my name different? Oh, I guess it got changed. Okay. That's interesting, I suppose. Ugh. Also, I have both the stream open and myself as StreamYard open at the same time. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the playback is like delayed.
Yeah, I'm just going to mute the stream. I just have the stream chat open. I guess I have like this. Yes.
How's it going?
It's not.
Did they kick you out?
No,
They didn't invite me.
right.
Oh, how come?
I don't for my father.
Nobody thought.
No.
Oh.
No, father, pull through. I'm gonna try to be louder. So I'm gonna bring the mic closer to me. I may make this thing fall over. Okay. I think that's good. Yeah, I think that'd be an interesting idea. At least have
Although,
it be red
he did
for a
say
short time.
We
Instead of
rate
blue.
at 8:30 and invites go out at 8:15. And it's
Alright.
just now
Um,
8:15. So
Everyone welcome Riley to the stream.
Hello.
Yo.
Hello. Greetings.
I'm sorry that welcome was a bit delayed. I was had to mute quickly.
Ah, alright, that's fine.
But yes, welcome.
Yes. Thank you. I feel very welcomed. I'm not even sure if my mic is picking up because oh shit. I'm gonna try not to swear too much. Hello. Yes, I have entered from chat to actual stream voice chat. I'm just smiling right now. No idea why.
I mean,
It's
fair enough.
because you're on the most glorious of streams.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
Yeah. Actually, for whatever reason, I found out the Internet Archive has a whole like catalog of the Railway series. I'll pull it up. Kind of interesting.
That's a good stream, but it's not the best stream that we've ever had, and like, this isn't the main channel. This is like a weird side channel.
Yeah.
This isn't even. It's really. It's technically a secondary channel, but it also isn't because it's the official channel for the website. So
Yeah, that's what it is.
That is true.
technically, I shouldn't be streaming the Railway Series iOS on this because it's not going to get released. But I'm not clogging up my channel with live streams. We did that. We did that already. I had to go through and private them all.
My mic just went flying down to the floor. Luckily, I caught it just in time.
I can't believe we're on the 12th of these streams.
It doesn't really feel like that though. It feels like it feels like a mix between we've been going for a lot less, but also a lot longer.
Well, I didn't even tend all the streams. I just decided to tend this one. Oh, wait, I'm going down. Up, dang it.
You came for the reskin. This is your first Railway Series iOS one, but you came for the reconvene on the reskin stream.
Are you in their Discord?
No, I'm in Streamlabs.
Yeah, I'm listening to him.
I think that was clever naming on my part, really. Reconvene on a reskin stream. I was just like that. We'll reconvene on a reskin stream after this one, and I was like, oh, that's actually a good name.
Oh yeah.
Call you up there.
Right when they started.
We did indeed reconvene on a reskin stream, and I think we will do that again eventually. We will reconvene on a reskin stream again and make a second one in a hopeful mini-series of reskinning stuff.
Oh,
I mean, they probably won't be called reconvene on the reskin stream. They'll probably be called reskin stream 1.
No, I like the title of reconvene on a reskin stream.
Oh, okay then, fair enough.
It is a nice title though, and it's funny. It's like a play on words, but it rhymes and it's fun to say. Because I can say like that at the end of these streams. I can say, and we'll see you when we reconvene on a reskin stream, and then we end.
I can see the kind of like coolness of that, I guess.
It's like a segue, leads into the next stream.
So I've been looking at my clock combined with the stream, and I think we may, when we end on this one, this would be a very cool one to get on the exact hour, the half hour dot, or the full hour dot, or one of the 10-minute dots, because I've been looking at it, and every single time, we are perfectly timed. You know what I mean?
Mm.
With the minutes, as in like it won't I won't like see the time change, and then I'll look down, and then I'll have to wait for like half a minute for the stream time to change. It's like timed perfectly.
All right, I got something kind of interesting. This is my since we're reading Railway Series books. I thought, hang on a minute. I thought I found out something. You can read the Railway Series on the Internet Archive. I don't want to send you a stream chat.
Series Railway.
Yes. And for whatever reason, the copy you can like borrow on Internet Archive is actually like a US version of it.
Ew,
Like-
US.
Ew. Yeah.
The funny thing is that I didn't know it existed until I started reading. It's like, wait. I started reading the sad story of Henry. It's like, wait a minute. Did they actually do like a proper localization of the books? And they actually did. Like they replaced like the fat director name with like Sir Topham Hatt and all that interesting stuff. I thought it was really cool. Like,
So they messed up and essentially said Henry coupled up to Gordon with his big shiny knuckle coupler.
No,
actually, everything
God,
is
no.
the same.
Why does it sound so erotic when a little girl says it?
The thing, actually, everything is the same except they call the trucks. They call
They call them the foolish freight of cars, which is just
yeah.
stupid.
Actually, I looked in
How
in
does-
the book.
how
They
does
call,
the-
they
yeah,
still call
that's
the trucks and all that.
I mean,
That's a
Brits stay.
question I've had.
The Brits.
I've had a question about that. You know the song "Troublesome Trucks," where it says like the engines always think they are so clever. How does the United States version work? Does it go the foolish freight cars bump the engines off the line
No,
like that?
No,
it's
no,
the
no.
same. It's the same song. They
But
didn't
what's the
localize
point?
it at
What was
all.
the point of doing that? Because then you'll be like, "What's the troublesome truck?" They're the foolish freight cars. How does that compute?
You know they still say troublesome trucks on the U.S. stuff, right?
Yeah, they still call them all troublesome trucks.
Well, everyone that I've seen is foolish.
Oh, that's some nice noise.
They don't always call them cars. And
Let me
also,
see.
I mean, I've heard some.
Oh
people-
yes, okay. No, they
I mean,
still
I've
call
heard
the
British
trucks
people
trucks
say
anymore. They
freight
still
car
call
before.
So
you know?
here's what they did. They kept 90% of the original like Audrey written script, but they replaced all the terminology. They call the trucks freight cars. They refer to Topham Hatt by name. What I want to know,
Essentially, they messed up the Railway series big time.
George Carlin's version when? Probably never. What I do want to
No,
know is that
we don't need that horrible voice on our on.
I do have to admit, George Carlin had the best narration for the Railway series.
Thomas is
For
a tank engine compared to
series.
Thomas is a tank engine. You can see the difference.
His voice is just so calming. Like, I like his voice.
yeah,
But the cars had other ideas, but the trucks
You
had
make
other.
him sound like Michael Brandon or Alec Baldwin.
I'm actually gonna go look. Okay, what the hell is? It's a whole like collection. Let's see here.
I don't
I
much
thought
care
it
for
was-
Ringo.
I'm sorry, but Ringo Starr wins all the way. Oh well, slash
Hell
Michael
no,
Anderson.
hell no, not
He
Ringo
sounds
Starr.
so. Ringo sounds so dry in
That's what he sounds like to you Americans, because you're used to Thomas is a tank engine who lives in a big station at the end of the
I
railroad.
first saw the UK
I will
dub,
say-
man.
In season 2, he actually did do a pretty good job. It wasn't that bad.
I first
Thomas
saw
is
the UK dub. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you've grown up in an American society.
So
I mean,
what?
That's true, but that's not like.
Thomas.
Eh.
Well,
Oh
But
my
I'm
god!
used to- but that's the thing, I prefer the
You
British
know what?
accent
Okay,
in
the
all
Thomas Hankins
things.
Story Collection, the U.S. version. You know what they call
That's the
Mr.
thing,
Peter
though.
Sam?
Like in everything, I
call
prefer
him
the
the
Hang
British
on,
Lion
accent.
hang on. What?
In the U.S. version of the Railway series, you know what they call Mr. Peter Sam? I thought they were going to refer to him by name. They call him the line manager.
The line manager came to see Scarlowy.
Yeah.
Manage.
okay, I'll read the book
That's
from
my
the-
job, he said.
From the editor handle. Darryl did not feel so pleased with himself when he crawled home and found the line manager waiting for him. You are a very naughty engine, he said sternly.
You are a
You
very
are
naughty
engine, so I
engine.
can trust you to behave.
Found him at home with his
You do realize that
I would have fucking said
Oh my.
Mr. Peter Sam, the line manager, but then
No,
again,
get it, man.
like
know.
Americans, they're just supposed to
actually,
use
what's the full
American
word say? I want to check the
terminology
full
for
word.
people to understand.
Let's see. Yeah.
the forward just says like the Skarloey engines have been naughty.
Oh my god, it's the same as the UK one. Okay. Dear friends, Sir Handel Brown's the owner of a little railway which goes to Skarloey and Reneus. Skarloey, which means lake in the woods, and Reneus means divide waterfall. They are beautiful places and lots of people visit them. The owner is very busy, so Mr. Peter Sam manages the railway. The two engines, who are called Skarloey and Reneus, grew old and tired, so the owner brought two others. The stories tell you what happened. So
we have
you're gonna
we have
the
the
full one
owner.
for the city.
We have the owner and the line manager.
Which makes sense because Mr. Peter Sam is not the owner of the railway. He manages the line, which makes sense. But why didn't they name drop him in the story, but they drop him in the forward? Like, what?
That's right.
Like, this
Yes.
is the line manager. Hello, Mr. Line Manager. I hope you manage my line well.
But yeah, I prefer the British accent in all things, but George Carlin's narration is just better.
Actually,
Like
I
I
don't know,
never
my James voice
listened
is
to Ringo
literally- I
Starr's
can describe
narration,
it more
and
as
even
just. I describe my like when I do like voices of the characters, all of them are based on Carlin's rendition, just with English accents. Like for James, I do the voice, but then I give it an English accent, but like that.
Kind of weird talking that you do.
yeah, exactly. The only issue with George Carlin's narration is the fact that he isn't British, but the tone of his voice is perfect.
Well, that's the whole problem with it.
Well, no, the thing is, the tone of his voice is perfect, and I like his voice.
I
There's
love
just-
his voice for Skarloey. It's
Like
definitely one of
his
my
voice
favorites.
is perfect.
I haven't
It's just-
heard his voice for Skarloey, and I don't want to.
That's the thing, Ben. It's just your
It's a
English,
very
your
soft-spoken
American
voice.
accent is
It
bad.
sounds like
The
this.
thing is, you make your
It,
when you do
it's
your
very,
American accent, you just make
very-
your voice
very
sound
low.
badly. But like, your voice is
It's
fine.
not a bad
It's just,
voice.
like, you can have a
love this
different
dude.
voice. Like, my voice, doesn't instantly change dramatically when I start doing my British accent. It's just me with a British accent. It's the same
call me
thing.
Doctor.
Like, his voice is the same. Like, I just prefer his voice.
Oh my god. Yeah. I just now realized some of the illustrations, for whatever reason, Dalby decided to paint Thomas and Gordon with black wheels. Help.
But yeah, I never listened to Ringo's narration, literally ever, except for memes.
I have for both.
And then I always
I guess you
listen
could-
to Carlin all the way up until season 4.
You know
when
what?
there's-
What we need to do is
when
make a
there's
video
No more Carlin.
combining like the narrators who did the best voices for each character.
Carlin
and-
narrator. Carlin narrator.
No,
I'd
anyone
actually
but
do that.
anyone but him and Michael Brandon.
No, his narration's the best. Not Michael
You
Brandon.
said
His-
best
his
voices
is
for the
shit.
characters, so you have to include those two.
Of the characters, I didn't
Although-
say narrator, did I?
Yes.
No, I meant-
I wouldn't
meant
mind having
Carlin
Ringo be the
narrator,
narrator and then
Carlin
like
narrator.
have
Carlin has
Carlin voice the characters.
Hit the
I
voices
did
he
that.
needs to do. They sound funny.
What?
I mean, I will admit, Carlin's narration is a lot better than Johnny Morris's. Than Johnny
Oh,
Morris's. Look at
I
me.
mean, that doesn't give him much
Yeah.
credit. That
I don't know if
doesn't
you
give him much.
everything's
That
going
doesn't really
chaotic.
give
I
him-
don't know if you heard my mom, but she said when Ringo tried to do voices, it sounded weird because he was a singer and it didn't come off the same way. The only voice that you can distinct from is Gordon because he does a really low pitched voice. Your Jacob sounds like this, which.
Whereas
if you
George
listen to-
Carlin was a comedian, he was used to doing all kinds of different voices.
Yeah. The other thing is that funny that I guess you could say Alec Baldwin tried to mimic that with his original Gordon voice.
And then failed miserably.
I'm a big blue engine.
Well,
Sometimes I'll listen to the Alec Baldwin version of Gordon just because it sounds so retarded.
just for the laughs. Just for the laughs.
Like, Michael Brandon And
It's just that when Ringo tries to do the
like
other
if I were
voices,
to
he tries
rate
make
if
his
I were
voice
to
really
rate the
strange.
narrator,
Yeah.
it would be George Carlin #1 easily.
Yeah.
He's just
Just,
the
I
best.
don't know. Probably come
And
off
then
better if he did
probably
something
after
like
that would be Michael Angelis.
Yeah.
Then
And Angelus, excuse me.
Angelus.
isn't
Oh
my
my
Angelus.
god.
Is it
Right,
Did he
his
just
name
say
is
what?
Michael
Did everyone
Angelus.
just hear what Edward said? He just said Michael Angelus.
I can confirm it's Michael Angelus because he.
Oh,
He
if you,
said
sorry.
like,
it
read-
himself. He said it himself at the start of the My Thomas Storybook audios.
Yeah, I actually
He said,
checked.
read
Is
aloud
there-
by me, Michael Angelus, and you just said
Oh yeah, I
Angelus.
forgot
Edward,
about those.
Edward, I'm disappointed in you so much.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I forgot about those, man. Those
Really?
are,
Who
that's
gives a rat's tail? You know
nostalgia.
who he's talking about.
Yeah.
Edward, I'm disappointed in you.
But
Yeah,
why
I'm
though?
just-
I just
you-
said
you
his
were
name
off
wrong
the
slightly.
screen.
Go and party with the American narrators now.
What?
That's funny
Go and
because
party
George
with the American narrators. I'm going to stay with
That's
them.
the best.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, dude, it's true. Like I
The best,
know-
the best UK
You know what would
narrator,
have made you
the
cringe,
best,
Ben?
the
I know
best
exactly what
UK
would make you
narrator
cringe. What
is
if
the
they
Reverend
got
Dudley.
Michael
Hey,
Brandon
you have
to
to
narrate
I
the
have to
Railway
concede
series
it,
and
dude.
get all the
Britain
same
is the
voices he
better
did for all the
country.
characters in the show, in the books.
Edward,
Look,
I
the
never
United
said
Kingdom-
Ringo Starr was the best though. The best is the Reverend Audrey.
that is true. That is true.
Audrey,
I take
best
back what I
narrator.
said.
Now,
The Reverend
Who
Audrey will
knows?
be the best narrator
That was
forever.
a
Of course.
sneaky little save there.
Yeah.
But
Audrey,
it has
best
to be
narrator.
stated. The United Kingdom, this is not a jab, like me saying this narration is better is not a jab at the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is the better nation, with better people,
It's funny that-
better monarch, and a better
the better
government.
narrators and the better stories and the better people.
I
I
saw
well,
it was this
I mean, well, sure, the better,
English
it-
podcast
definitely
show.
with the better
I forget what it's
stories.
called.
I won't say with the better narrators because I mean, okay, fair enough. Yeah, George Carlin is the. I will say George Carlin is the only good American narrator, but for being the only.
Well,
good
that I can agree with you on.
But
About George.
for
I
being
see
the only
Baldwin's
good
a
American
good
narrator,
second.
he was
By
like
no means
Due
the
to the
best
fact that-
narrator overall, but the best out of the American ones.
he was the only good American narrator, but for being the only good American narrator, he was a damn good American narrator.
I honestly kind of want to see what season 5 would have been like if Carlin was asked to come back.
Oh, it would have been better.
Wasn't that the one where you had like Gordon saying like that?
No. It's when retarded Gordon takes over.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to mimic, but I can't because it's.
I'm
I'm
the
a big
biggest
blue engine, and I
engine
do, and I know
in the
everything. I
world.
know I will play whenever I want. It's literally what Alec Baldwin's Gordon sounds like, and then he changed it for
Alec
season 6
Baldwin
to
Gordon
sound like
is
this.
the best thing on earth.
It's-
See, that's the
like,
thing. I will
it's
I will
weird.
never watch any other dub for seasons 1 through 4 than George Carlin, but then I will only watch the UK dub after that.
I think since I grew up mainly on the US dub, I have a lot of guilty pleasures with it, especially with
don't.
Michael Brandon.
What the fuck are you doing with that tape?
I just don't really like Ringo Starr's narration.
He's having guilty
It's kind of
pleasures
flat
with the
in
tape
some
he's
places.
No,
And it's funny how
Oh,
you say flat because he's a musician, so flat.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Don't
kind of
be
well,
like-
okay, not flat in that sense,
Well, that's
but
what
it's
you
so lyrical. It's like
I
it
don't understand
blends
what you have
together
to
like a
feel
Well,
song.
it's good though. It's good for the troublesome trucks bit. Trucks are waiting in the yard.
That is true, but Carlin's one was hilarious.
I will say,
So
Carlin
do you know
is
the
quite-
Pop Goes the Diesel? Pop Goes the Diesel was actually recorded like the
Yeah.
bits where like the trucks are actually singing it, where you can hear like their voices, where
Yeah,
they're going like
Yeah,
"It's waiting in the yard."
Yeah.
Both George and Ringo recorded that, and then they pitched it up.
Oh, really? Wait! I thought
wasn't
it was
that
Mike
actually
and
just Junior
Junior.
Campbell though? I'm pretty sure that was Junior Campbell.
No, it was like all four of them, but like George and Ringo were like the main ones in it, like you can hear.
Huh.
Also,
But the
why
thing
did
is-
Angela shout the song?
Trucks
Yeah,
are waiting.
He like freaking
Yeah, like,
yelled
like,
it. That
he also
was
shouts
weird.
"Pop goes Ollie," which is like,
Goes along. I love
Oh
that.
wait, yeah. The one in season 3 with Oliver. Wait, no, that was season
I love
4.
series 3. Series 3 is the best.
Season
no.
three.
Yeah.
Season
like-
3.
I
can't
love
stress that enough.
season 3 for its visuals, but it has its like own faults. Like
Season
they
They
couldn't-
did start
probably
straying
my
away from
favorite.
the stories at that
they couldn't
point.
afford to make the Finnish Flying Scotsman, so they just made him a visitor.
Gordon
And I-
eyed the visitor suspiciously.
They
I
couldn't
know him
afford the
from
rest
there,
of
but
the
I
body,
can't
so they
put
just
him
gave us his
Could
ass.
this be? I don't know what he just has 2 tendons. I can't
Like
see
I
what the front of
find
him.
that very disappointing. They
You know.
couldn't afford to give us the rest of his body, so they gave us his ass.
Probably because they
instead.
spent all on Truro.
That's true. Yeah, they blew the budget on Truro, and he's not even the best.
Which is some people probably say, yeah, they should have chose one or the other. They should have adapted either the Tenders for Henry or Gordon the Same Famous Visitor. They should not try to adapt both because they couldn't have the money for both.
But it's funny though how like Gordon just stares at the tenders in the yard and he's just like, oh, I know him from somewhere, but I can't put my buffer on it because the plot says I can't have already known
He
him.
actually doesn't even acknowledge that he knows him at all. He just says, now if I had 2 tenders, that's what I need. Now if I had 2 tenders, I wouldn't have to stop so often. I wouldn't have to listen to the silly little
Gordon literally
His
basically just says,
driver
"Man,
is
I
the
wish I
one
had
that
an
just,
ass
oh yeah, they'll
like
turn
that."
it along to a visitor.
Did you hear what Edward just said?
No, can you read that?
I don't know what's going on.
Do I have
Edward.
to?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I said basically Gordon just rolls up on Flying Scotsman and immediately says, "Man, I wish I had an ass like that." And then he just leaves.
And then proceeds to brag about tenders for the rest of the day.
Everybody wishes they
Like the
were
subplot
hot
with
like
Henry
me.
then makes no sense because Flying Scotsman had little importance now due to him being minorly cut.
Flying Scotsman was flying.
Flying Scotsman flew. Wow. Said
Oh,
Gordon, I wish
wow.
I could fly like Flying
Germany.
Scotsman. No, but the thing is, it's funny because actually it does make some sort of sense because Gordon might not have actually met Flying Scotsman when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because Gordon was like built before Flying Scotsman and Gordon left after his trials were complete. So Gordon might not have actually met Flying Scotsman. He recognizes his class. He recognizes the class of its own and, you know, everything like that. But he wouldn't probably actually know Flying Scotsman.
Yeah.
When you think about it from like a logical timeline perspective.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that they don't even name drop City of Truro, even though like his nameplates are there, everything else is there. Like, why?
There was a special visitor there. And it's funny because Duck doesn't even really get that much screen time. It's Thomas who points out that he's like special and everything like that.
I really would have loved to have the script have Duck say, "That's City of Truro. He's a celebrity," you know.
But Thomas is like, no, he's a celebrity. None of you know him, but I do because plot convenience.
Yeah.
You put salt in the coffee.
Everything could have worked if you had Duck say that as well.
Put salt in the coffee.
Like, it would have not changed at all.
It wouldn't have changed much
You
other
added
than the fact that it was Thomas who didn't say it. And it was
Yeah.
Duck who, yeah.
Who knew him, yeah.
It's funny because City of Truro was actually retired by the time Duck was in regular service.
Peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it just makes sense because he was famous then.
Oh, yeah, because he's Great Western, so he'd be a
Why'd they-
celebrity.
No.
in the
Like,
Great
Duck would grow up with him, like, already being this super famous, like, retired hero.
Okay, so Crimson
Yeah,
Jade
he'd be
21
like
because-
Edward. He'd like City of Truro to Duck and all the Great West engines would be like Edward to the Northwestern engines.
Yeah. So Crimson J says it's implied that they met before in Tenders for Henry before Gordon's rebuild. So, yeah,
I mean, that's what I was thinking of because it's implied they met before, but
Yeah,
you
because Scotsman comments that Gordon's changed a lot. So
Yeah.
does that mean he briefly
I'm talking
had
about the TV series, like in a way.
Yeah,
when you think
in
how
the
they-
railway series, they might have actually met each other right before Gordon went to the Northwestern Railway. But in the television series, if you go just by the script and you don't know they weren't good, they didn't have the money to finish Scotsman, it sort of gives the implication that Gordon didn't even know who he was at all.
Hmm.
And I thought about readapting that story.
I know. I was
when
just
you
going to
find-
say, I really want to do an adaptation, like a TV series, how it should have been adaptation of that scene.
What if had they actually finished?
Had they
got the
not
name
introduced
all the
City of Churro.
What if
Or-
episode wasn't bad?
budget vote, because Truro was unpowered, but I think all the money went to making him because he was made of brass. Scotsman, I'm not sure, or at least his
I
tendons.
don't
The
know
funny
why.
thing is that
I don't know why they went with City of Churro, but you know.
I get that they might have wanted to pad out the thing, but since you City of the only family member Gordon's
He went 100 miles an hour before you were even thought of.
I do find
Yeah,
the funny
that's
thing
what
is
you
that
say, Duck, but we all know otherwise.
you don't see Truro move at all. Like, they totally could have connected a fishing wire to him and just had him move with a bellows. That's how they could have done that.
But the thing is, you only ever see City of Churro in one scene as well, whereas Flying Scotsman, you could have had a whole episode where he was like discussing things with Gordon. And
Yeah,
like,
they also could have set it up with Super Rescue and Escape. Like, there's so
But they
many
didn't have the budget. They didn't have the budget to do Super Rescue either.
Yeah, like it's sort of like a what if scenario if they had more money to do everything
I don't know.
they
They didn't
wanted.
tell me anything.
Finish Scotsman,
If they had the cash money, fork over the
adapt
dough,
Super
yo.
Rescue, etc.
Are they folded?
They have 20 people.
Which is why I'm excited for new models, and I'm hoping Tramway 3D releases
I don't know.
their own.
You know, there is a
Scotsman.
TV series Flying Scotsman out right now for
Yes,
for
Max
Train
Modeling did
to-
made a special model for him,
Mm.
reskin, but it's not like a model.
It's not bad.
But the Tramway 3D one is
bit of
super
everything.
cool. I'll send like an image of it. It's
you know, it's
Very
funny because didn't they have different models in series 3 compared
Yeah.
to like the series 1? They could have just repainted the series 1 Gordon for Flying Scotsman.
the series one. Actually, no, they didn't. I don't think they had the same. I'm pretty sure the Gordon you see in season 3 is the same model you in season 1 and 2. Actually,
No, I was going to say because if they did have like another model of Gordon, they could have used that.
yeah. Maybe all the scrap models could have been redressed into Scotsman.
One of the scrap bottles becomes Scotsman, bruh.
Because there were theories going around that the unused Scotsman, what was left of the Scotsman model,
not
just
going
got
outside
turned
for
into a
that.
scrap dressing.
I think that's
But
true.
yeah, I mean,
Like, probably, like the tenders, you know?
yeah, Crimson says if Gordon goes forward and actually happened in the TV series, maybe Gordon could have met Scotsman in London along with other LNER engines. Yeah, the model
That would
changed
have
after
been
Magic.
really
Railroad.
cool, actually.
All models after Magic Railroad are brass. Yeah, they like if the hit era, if the
Stop.
classic series
Hold up,
had the
hold
same
up. You just
budget,
mispronounced
hit
that
era-
right there for a moment there. Did you just say Magic Railway or Magic Railroad? I think you mean Tragic Fail Road.
Yeah, whatever.
One of the fair enough. I mean, I think we all here can admit that was,
Edward's a tragic
Yes.
fail, glass half full kind of guy.
you have to admit
Yes.
that it was a
Yes, it was bad. I get it.
It was an abomination to the human race.
It wasn't that bad.
Jay also says they use the original models as stunt models. Yeah. I find that really funny that, we don't want to damage all these brass models we got, even though they probably are 10 times durable. Let's use the plastic stuff instead.
Yeah,
Or
they could
actually,
they would just do anything.
Let's
with
just use those
things.
Perspex models that
It seems like
they're like, I
immediately
don't know,
after they
25
got
years
the
old.
brass
I'll just use
models,
them to
like,
crash.
The plastic ones just like became their playthings.
Like, I would have done the opposite. I would have used the brass models for crashes and kept the Perspex ones as like not stunt doubles. I would have kept them the same.
Yeah,
It's just a
exactly.
really weird thing.
Like, why did they do that? Who made the decision for that?
It's funny that Toby never got another model until season, I think, 12.
I think
That's
it
amazing.
sucks.
Crimson also, did you know Gordon's season 1 model broke after filming Edward and Gordon? No, I didn't know that actually.
Wait,
way?
what?
Oh wait, wasn't that when it flew off the table after Gordon rushed through Marin?
I don't know.
You know when like
I mean-
Edward helps him up the hill and then Gordon's like, poop poop, see you later, Edward.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
like,
thank you
goes
because
down
I'm
for
too
Marin.
important. And then because I
Yeah.
saw like this footage where like Gordon flew down there and then like he fell off the edge of the table.
I'm not gonna thank you because I'm a jerk. Bye.
Didn't even wait to say thank
I'm not
you.
gonna thank you because I have a reputation to keep up with Alfred and the other entrants back at the shed.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm not going to thank you because I'm a special breed of human called asshole.
Fuck. My God. Luckily for them, that was the last thing they recorded for season 1. Oh wow, that was lucky. Maybe that's why Gordon's eyes were wonky in season 2 because that's what happened.
Gordon got brain damage.
Yeah, after he slammed and hit after the model broke, his I think if anybody broke, the eye mechanism went weird. I would totally believe that. Yeah, since if the hill scene after all that, especially the Marin scene, yeah, if that was the last thing they filmed, yeah, you're really lucky that you didn't have to
When the
film
last thing
anything
they
else
film,
ever again.
when the last thing they film is also for the second episode, but also luckily enough because it's when the model breaks.
Yeah. And then
Bless you.
Ugh, sorry. Thank you. Then afterwards, Gordon forever had a wonky eye until it was fixed for season 3.
When Gordon's
Ew.
eye goes in the wall.
Oh, 1 second.
I don't know how much longer I'll be able to stay. I think I may end up having to leave for dinner soon.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, how's everyone enjoying the stream so far?
They
Yes,
also
I hope
they broke
everybody
the
is
Fergus model after that.
having
scene with
the
Quarry.
fun. Everybody, please do be having the fun. If you're not having the fun, then, well, we failed at our job, didn't we?
I sometimes think to myself, I wonder what happened to Boulder after Rusty and the Boulder.
He probably
Talk
killed
about-
himself from the depression knowing that he nearly killed so many people.
Yeah, I'm more thinking of what happened to the model afterwards, like both the face and faceless version.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. That's what I was thinking about too. I was just joking, you know.
You're not a big brain like me. Anyway,
I would never, like think about.
I
something so
sometimes
stupid.
wonder that, like, where all these models, they just got sent to storage afterwards. Like, I think that's the most logical reason. Like the most.
Gas,
You know what they
gas,
should have done?
gas.
Because the Blue Mountain Quarry is technically built on the ground of Boulder Quarry. So what they should have done is had like Boulder, like it's like just like even like in the background for about 10 seconds or something is like a bit of a like.
I actually didn't know Blue Mountain Quarry was built over Boulder Quarry.
No, yeah, it was built over Boulder Quarry when they realized the land was still decent enough. So like even if they'd left Boulder like
Wow,
in the back,
so the Fat Controller didn't even learn his lesson at all.
because it's a different Fat Controller. So like
I mean, yeah, but the family didn't learn
It's
their
the same
lesson
fucking guy.
whatsoever.
If the CGI, if Sam Wilkinson, all those fucking people think, oh yeah, it's the same continuity, everything take place, and then
Yeah. So by the way, I heard that there was this thing with Sam Wilkinson.
Then
and
you
it was
see
revealed that
Henry
he
in
was-
his old new shape when he should be in his old one.
I heard that there was this whole big thing that like Sam Wilkinson was like a bad person or something,
Yeah.
but I kind of have no idea what that's
he's a
all
piece of
about. Can
garbage.
somebody explain that to me?
let's see. Let's see here. Where to start? I guess start with the
Oh,
one thing
God.
actually that set off red flags for everyone immediately. He got access to some face casts
Hey, no sweat.
and made a bunch of faces. He sold them as screen used faces when they weren't. So he essentially scammed people.
So who exactly like is he? Is he like?
He was
work-
the railway. He was the one who made sure that
He
the
was the
CGI
railway
was
consultant.
making things railway accurate. He didn't do a
Later on,
very
he did a really
nobody had
quote
correct
unquote good job.
And then he also made a map to try and cram every single TV series, railway series, and CGI location into one, and it just no.
Doesn't work. Hey, at least
Um,
it wasn't the Japan map, which does stuff like, oh yeah, all these lines. There's one line in the rescue center. This goes in a straight line.
You
It was also
are the
Jap-
rescue center.
I am the rescue center. You are the rescue center. We
Instead
are
of
all
I am the it's I am the rescue center.
We are the rescue center. I am the rescue center.
That's quite
It's like
interesting.
Napoleon after he like right before he declared himself emperor. He was like, "The revolution is over. I am the revolution." It was like, "You
If
cocky
the
piece
characters
of
were written for,
like
if
you
the
are
characters
such
were
a
written properly, what do you think Gordon's relationship would be with Rebecca? I don't watch the CGI series, so I have no comment. But as I've heard, it's bad. and
I
terrible.
haven't watched since that episode where Thomas went to Italy and we met the pack. I haven't watched.
Oh
I
wait,
haven't
you guys
watched-
watched that crap?
I
I
watched
didn't.
that and then I didn't watch anything else after just because of they completely forgot Byron and Kelly and Patrick existed and replaced them.
Female Byron.
Yeah, that was a little interesting.
The only CGI of Thomas I've ever watched is I think the Thomas Way and the Arlesdale.
Oh, the
episode.
Thomas Way was a good episode. I like that.
Yeah, I liked it. I think there was also Last Train to Christmas I watched.
That was another good one. Except they should have included Pip and Emma in it as well.
I also watched the Arlesdale.
Think about it for a second. Last Train for Christmas, but it has Pip and Emma in it instead of Connor.
That would definitely be an interesting idea.
That's why I'm thinking of
they
adapting it. I'm
they
thinking
have
of
to
adapting it into
introduce
a railway
them.
series.
In.
Huh?
And they'd also
Ben.
have to add like Gordon's railway series arc, which technically never happened.
Ben, no,
I
we've
mean-
spoken about this. Why would you say that?
So
Wow.
Tom had
Why would I
some
say
ability
We've
to help
we've
coordinate
spoken about
these
this. You said for me to
Yeah.
stop you from saying ideas on stream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I'm
kinda
still gonna-
interesting.
I'm still going to
That-
attempt to adapt it.
The designers decided to choose a Bullied Pacific, an engine that is known for its wheel slip, and never gave her any wheel slip.
I mean,
It's
except
because
that
they want.
one
It's because
time
they
where-
want. It's because they want that thing for Rebecca to be like the new Express engine and give Gordon a reason to be like jealous. But the thing is that Gordon can't be jealous over an engine that is like
a piece of
engineered,
garbage.
like yeah,
Mildly-
engineered,
Like,
That's mildly
I just
worse
did
than him in
the
performance.
server-
like
And even if she
technically.
doesn't wheel slip, it's I still think she wouldn't be as good. I think she'd be close, not.
Be close,
she wouldn't
but
be
like
terrible.
Gordon, they should have done something where Gordon laughs at the wheel slip before doing something similar himself on Gordon's head.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be interesting. But then she
You know,
would.
like Gordon's like
But that
laughing
combined with
about
her wheel slip would mean that wheel slip would mean she wouldn't even be able to make it up.
The bottom of it better because some of it's subtle and it's stronger on the bottom, so we can add more to it, so the whole thing is stronger.
And I'm not going to even talk about
It's a
Nia.
little
Nia
sweet
doesn't
for my
exist.
taste, but it's still tasty.
No, the thing is that the CGI series has a thing for making narrow gauge engine standard gauge.
That's fine.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
a
same.
really weird hard on.
I'm just saying
I
that's
don't
for
understand.
Like,
They also made yellow female Duncan, and I was kind of creeped out by that. I didn't like that. That was
like
weird.
Nia,
Oh, what's
and
that thing called? The yellow female dunking looking thing?
I don't know her name. I just seen her.
Tamika.
Bertha, right? Bertha.
No, I just told you, Edward. I said Tamika. That's what her name is.
Oh, Tamika.
Yes,
That's an interesting name. Like,
Interesting choice.
the
why?
yellow Australian Duncan.
Like, I think everyone is. I don't know if you two have ever watched this. Have you watched the Unlucky Tugs video about the whole World Big Adventures thing?
I think so.
Yeah, where he like, oh yes, Thomas is going around the world, and this is a show about trains. I wonder what we'll learn about this country's railway system. We don't.
Oh yeah,
get
I've
the
seen
basic-
that. I've seen that.
We get the
When Thomas
basic,
has finally run out of adventures on his own island, so he goes to screw up everyone else's railways.
Yeah. Hey, I haven't been on one of these in a while. Hello, Sweezy Kid. I don't know who that is.
It's like after America
But
ran
welcome
out
to
of
the city.
Destiny to manifest, they just started screwing with other
Oh,
people's
hello,
islands.
Swizzy Kid. Welcome. I haven't seen you in a while either.
The great Swizzy Kid returns.
Yes.
What are his motives?
yeah,
Nobody
Like someone
knows.
mentioned, I think it was Thomas Theris. He mentioned that Nia was based on a mountain engine, an Indian
No.
mountain engine.
Oh, well, no, Ashima and Nia are both narrow gauge engines that
No,
have
shit,
been.
I meant to say Shima. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh no, yeah, Ashima's a mountain engine from like a narrow gauge
So-
mountain engine from India.
Did they do an Indian episode? I forget.
They
Yeah,
did several.
they
So
did.
why did
They did
why did
several
they do a
with the
whole, like,
controller of
if you-
India.
I heard Yongbao and the Tiger was pretty good. So
Oh,
why
yeah.
didn't they do one about Ashima on doing pulling trains on her mountain line?
Because Ashima's
that's-
Because
technically
that,
can't
see,
even
the
be
thing is, because that would have been a good idea, and Mattel are openly opposed to those.
That was Ian McHugh. But yeah.
I know,
And,
I'm convinced the entire brand kind of hate those things.
And the thing is that
Also, that would require effort,
because
and I
Ashima
don't
is a
think
standard
Ian
gauge
McHugh wanted
engine in this CGI series canon, it technically means that she can't go up on the mountain railway anyway because it just wouldn't work.
I mean, you just quoted Unlucky Tug, so please allow me to do the same.
Slide.
Corporations are not your friend.
You get
Yep.
left behind. No, strong.
which is why they don't listen. Like,
Charlie
I
Cole got left
personally
behind.
believe after All Engines Go comes out and it doesn't do very well, they're just gonna have the franchise die and never do anything with it again.
Ah, Chuck, Charlie Troll got left behind.
I
Because the
agree.
thing is, they're thinking that they're making it better by rebooting it, but they're not going to.
I feel like in a perfect world, the rights would go back to the Audreys, but then again, I don't know what they do with it afterwards.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. At the end
Christina-
of the day, what exactly would they be able to do with it, really?
Make
I
another
mean,
railway series book.
Christopher
maybe
could write.
Brian Coppola
No,
bury the
Christopher
rest
could
of it.
write another story, Thomas and the failure of his Big World Big Adventure.
Thomas and the merchandising.
Thomas and the shit world adventures.
Thomas and the failure of the Big World Big Adventures merchandising by Mattel. And it's just like,
It's just Thomas's exposure to being a celebrity.
Thomas's shit adventures. Thomas's
so much
shit world
because of course
adventures.
that's what Thomas probably would his like I I like how
Thomas's
everyone's just
adventures and what the
stereotypical,
Audrey
like,
family had to deal
Christopher Audrey Thomas. He just is so grumpy about everything. It's just kind of a funny thing I
with.
noticed.
Christopher Audrey Thomas would just be pissed at Mattel.
The engines were sat in Tidmouth sheds one
I mean, well,
day.
actually, no, not
This
just
isn't
Christopher
fair,
Audrey
said
Thomas,
Gordon. They made me a V2.
The original Thomas, the Railway Series Thomas, was just such a dick, and he was pissed about any little thing messing up with his image. He would probably be furious at Mattel.
What is this? That's not me. What's
Hey,
that?
what is this shit? Bursty,
Yeah, I-
Bursty, you've seen this.
No, Thomas, I haven't.
Look at
What is this
look
disgusting
at this
thing
crap.
I'm seeing
Look
with
at
my
this old
eyes?
engines go
I don't know
rubbish.
why I'm making him sound like a mix of he's from Cockney and Australia.
Yeah,
I have
we
no idea.
both made him sound so old because he's like this washed up old celebrity. Like at this
That's what
point,
he
like
kind of essentially is in there. Because
yeah, that's
I like
exactly
how
what he's
it's
become.
mentioned he's
Like,
an honorary member of the National Railway Museum. That also technically makes he's an honorary relic.
wow, man.
Thomas
That-
is so
Certified
happy.
Silver Award.
He's like, I'm part of the national collection now. And Gordon says, you know, that's when my that's when my brother Flying Scotsman went after he retired.
Thomas never talked about the National Railway Museum ever again. Yeah. I like how it's never mentioned again. There are so many cool Christopher Audrey concepts that Christopher Audrey wanted to do, but just because Egmont and the TV show came out, he kind of wasn't allowed to do them. I want to know what railway
He was forced to do Thomas-centric stories only for the rest of the series.
I want to know what Barry the Rescue Engine is like. So bad. I think the only way we're ever going to see it is if the Audreys get the rights to the series back.
Oh well, they're never getting that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mattel's holding on to that moneymaker right until the end.
The chance is really slim. Like,
You know, is it
Mattel
bad that
will
I
hold
wish
on
Thomas
to
was
it
not
until
as
they
successful?
just can't do anything with it anymore. And they have
Is
to
it
sell
bad that I wish Thomas was not a successful franchise, so that way all these stupid merchant hawks would have just fucked off and let it be?
Well, if it wasn't a big success, we wouldn't know about it.
You gotta left outside. Sorry.
True, but you know,
Yeah,
I still wish
It's
you
double-
know.
it's a double-edged sword for me. Because I think a lot of people's exposure to the franchise wasn't the books, it was the show.
I wouldn't be able to say that.
Okay, there we go. There's some more of Wellsworth done. I just need
Yay.
to. I need to do
That
some.
looks pretty decent so far.
Thank you.
The Fat Controller would have hundreds of lawsuits by Mattel. Slander against his Northwestern. I think even like before Mattel, he also I think if the railway had its image to keep up, I think like
My railway has an image of instability and frequent crashes to keep up, Thomas.
Hit would have been fucking sued.
I would like you to crash because
I
right
would
now-
like you to crash when you take this special.
because we have not had enough crashes, and my reputation as an unsafe railway is getting better. This is unacceptable.
Gordon, I need you to brake. And then Gordon's like, excuse me? And then the Fat Controller just messes around with his controls so he crashes into Kirk Cronin.
I need you to die, Henry.
Excuse me, sir?
You heard me.
You made kids cry. Now I'm gonna make you
my.
die. Top of the 1988 colorized. Oh yeah, Sir Stephen. Yo, Mattel.
Down that
I actually think it would be the Britt Allcroft Company. Glade, what the fuck is all this fantasy shit?
Come here.
What is
Come
this?
here. Come here.
What is this? You see Steven pointing at like all of this like the boulder. You see him pointing from across to the boulder. What is this?
Why are you
What is that?
What's wrong?
jump up.
Imagine if Evening Star went to
So I
the
looked to see if she had
Yeah, there's a
smoke
lot,
in her.
lot of
No-
interesting
no
things
teeth
that could have
poking
happened
anywhere.
that we don't even
You're
know
just
about.
lazy. You're
Crimson J
Yeah.
says, imagine if Evening Star went to Soda before she became static. I've seen Evening Star and I've sat on a buffer beam, so you know.
So you know,
You
man,
sat on her.
way to flex. Thanks, Ben.
I've been to the National Railway Museum in general. It was fun.
Haha, Ben sat on Evening Star.
And when we're not running all around because of the laser. Looks pink.
Is she even more like Steve?
Whatever.
Asthma?
We get the bus because
Man, I had asthma once. I don't know if I still have it, but
I'm standing wherever
You
you
smell like orange and ginger. She might lick you.
bad CGI.
Didn't, but she could have.
There are a lot of concepts people like.
Apparently diarrhea.
Really now do that.
Like, what is it? I like this idea as well.
Did you know the BR standard designs were supposed to last until the late 1980s, and within only like 5 years of them existing, they were cut up.
Because
That's British
Steam bad,
Railways.
Steam old.
And it's funny,
Yeah,
there was
because
this
Steam
diesel.
bad,
There was
Steam
this
old.
diesel that they built called the Pacer, like the DMU Pacers, and they were intended to last only 20 years, like from the 1980s to 2000. The final one finished working only 2 weeks ago,
Ha!
Wow.
and that means that they've been in service for nearly 50 years. And
I remember
in that time, they could have had
um,
reliable steam engines running on the network.
Apparently, I think some of them are gonna. I think there were plans to actually bring back steam traction for proper mainline use, but I don't know if that ever gotten to.
Nah,
That's the plan.
the government decided against that.
I'm super excited for Prince of Wales.
Oh yeah.
All of
Prince.
the recipes,
He emerged.
all those recipes are in the drawer.
What did you just say about Wales?
The Prince of Wales is going to be completed eventually.
Where's he?
Under the microwave.
Yes. I
Where's
think all
the?
they need now is
where-
the Pistons. I think.
Where's His Majesty
let me
or
look up.
His Royal Highness Prince Charles being?
The Prince of Wales is due to be complete soon.
Oh, that's I did I. Oh, you were talking about the engine. I thought you were.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about His Royal Highness Prince Charles.
No, we're talking about the namesake. Not the namesake. We're talking about the thing that the
It would
namesake.
be funny if they actually didn't call him call the engine Prince of Wales. They just called it Charles.
Well, you see, the thing is, the
I don't
sad
remember-
thing
I don't know
is
his last name.
the original Prince of Wales, the one that it started construction under, it will never get to see.
Yeah. Shallot.
Number 2007.
Sour cream.
That was almost 10. Fun fact, that was 11 years ago. 2007.
It does take a while to build a steam engine these days. It's not like
That
it
was
takes a week
13 years
anymore.
ago. What are you talking about?
I found it interesting that I think
I think we should have.
what was it called?
Stuck on the boss. And
That
last
the
That's just me.
oh, what is it?
Would they have you switch to an ad?
That they wanted Prince of Wales done by this year, but I don't know if they're gonna get him done by this year.
Well, obviously, because last year happened, so.
A setback like no other, but they still got work done. I don't think they got enough work done. The Cylinder Manufacturing Club. Okay, so recently, on the 9th of July, this month, they're doing engineering technician, and yeah.
Riley's that tank that just got up and followed Daddy.
1 second.
All right, we have been going for 3 hours and 1 minute. I accidentally kept
really?
going by accident, so we're going to end at 3 minutes and 5 instead,
All right. I'll try
because
to switch.
I kind of want to go out in the background.
3 minutes and 5. What? So I guess we should do the outro now. Thank you everybody
Yeah.
for coming to the stream. Well, I hope. Well, on behalf of me, Ben, and Riley, we hope you had fun. It was a nice, very chill stream today. We didn't really have much of a structure, so we just went with it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you all for watching.
And Sidelined is coming out eventually.
Yes, the next episode of Sodor Stars
Right.
of Chaos will be coming out soon, which is I'm excited for you all to see it. It's one doozy, and there
Yeah,
I actually-
Edward's already seen it.
it is
Coming
one
soon to the United
heck
States,
of a
new build
doozy.
Bryce Hudson and,
I even had some less than good voiced lines in it.
George Washington. Yeah. See you all. Bye.
See, in it, I had a few good voice lines, but the most of them were quite bad. Actually,
Yeah.
I
Crimson J says, when's the next one? This was just kind of like a casual thing because I really wanted to do a live stream sometime this school holidays. But the school holidays are coming to a close in about 4 days. Oh, wait, no, hang on. It's Thursday, so Friday, Saturday. So I've got 3 days left of the school holidays. So there won't be another one for another couple of weeks. Because I'll be working on like schoolwork and SOC, and the weekends will be very busy now, so I can't do streams anymore.
Yeah, that's important.
so this will most very likely be the last stream for quite a while, gentlemen.
Yeah, for at least a while, unless I somehow happen with a 3-day in which, of course. But be prepared. I'm not going to be like from now on until about 4 months from now when the Christmas holidays come around. Until then, over the course of the next 4 or 5 months, instead of me prepping the stream in advance, like a long time in advance, and having it like the watch page up, I'll just start the stream within about half an hour of setting everything up. So keep your eyes peeled for the next couple of weeks. If anything, especially on the weekend, like Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, around there, and then just in case. So yeah, can't really predict when I'm next going to be able to do one. But until then, thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you eventually.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone. Have you
Goodbye,
enjoyed.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you very much, everyone. Everyone says goodbye, and Crimson J says, glad I caught it then. Yes. All right. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been myself. Subscribe to the TWA955 Studio channel. This is Edward. Subscribe to Blue K2, and this is Riley. Subscribe to Wilbert the Forest Engine. Thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you sometime.
Next time.